about now? Now is the time.
Now is the time.
Now is the time. Now is the place. As we something.
Live for the future.
Yeah. What did I say? Okay. You guys entertain everyone while I do the necessary posts. And
Oh look, the map's already done. All right, thanks everybody. See you later.
yeah. Oh, it's all over. Just give me a sec here. Doing the thing. Getting that
Thanks for
up.
joining my Rubik's Cube solving stream.
Oh my god,
I don't
Rubik's
know how to
Cube?
solve the Rubik's Cube, but I'm
Rubik's
gonna
Cube
try.
streams?
I'm down.
Rubik's cubes.
I can teach y'all how to cube some rubes.
Do you know how to solve a Rubik's cube?
Yeah.
I kind of do. I haven't solved one for a while, but I have one in front of me. I haven't touched it in like a month or two.
Do I have the
I had to. I
names
bought a new
right?
one. I had to relearn a lot of the late game strats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
game
what
rating
names?
strats.
Oh, on
Yeah.
the stream. Yeah, I do. For some reason,
Yep.
well, I was gonna say for some reason it looks like they don't match that because Jason's like a bird.
And Rob's like a weird thing.
That's
that
Rob,
isn't
dude.
Quite human.
That's what he looks like.
Oh my
Rob
god.
doesn't look exactly like that.
That is a photorealistic impression of Robert.
You know what Rob looks like? He looks like
Bigot.
the thing that's on Mitch's shoulder, the little tiny old Merrick, but with like a younger, like a middle-aged Merrick.
I'm so very tiny.
I'm so very middle-aged.
How did I
Well,
get
think
so
of middle-aged.
fun-sized?
All right, well.
Have you heard of the high elves?
Okay, if there's anyone in chat,
High elves.
let me know the background music. It's supposed to be quiet, but let me know if it's either too quiet or too loud.
Oh, here, I'll just deafen and I'll just listen to the stream.
Hey,
Just-
excellent, good start.
Oh,
Perfect.
I've got cooked poodle.
Got it.
hats
All
here.
right, all right. A DM
Wait, great
advice.
DM advice? Is that better than good DM advice?
Well, it's just
Oh
it's
my god.
it's the regular.
No.
Okay.
Guys,
All right. I actually did prepare some this time, so I wasn't like, oh shit.
Making shit up.
All right. This is an interesting one. When homebrewing, spend less time on specific dialogue and more time on important info / lore. And what I mean by that, well, you guys probably know what I mean, but to elaborate, and this is something that I struggle with at the beginning, is I would always make a script, for lack of a better word.
Oh yeah, that's a bad time.
Well, it's not necessarily like a terrible thing, but it doesn't, like, if things, when things start to go off script, you're like, oh shit. Whereas now I do point form notes, and I put like this is the important information that this character needs to give the people to go on. Here's some other little things, and then I might do. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Fiddleheads. I might do like a quote from that person that I want them to say. Like, I'll put it in a quotation mark, like a word for word quote.
Yeah, I've
Right.
done that too.
Yeah.
It can be hard to fit it in though. Like,
It can be. Sometimes I don't.
it's worth.
More often than not, I don't use it because it's like, okay, well, he's not just gonna be like, by the river of the red rose. Like, all of a sudden, I'd be like, what? Hi? Okay, hi. Who are you?
Who goes there?
Yeah, and then if you're gonna spend time on anything, spend time on the lore of a character, right? Like or the lore of the world. So that stuff will automatically come up like naturally as people ask about it, and they'll be like, oh shit, like this guy's a really fleshed out character. That's awesome. And you just kind of like I find it easier to improv an NPC when I have like lore for them, but not a script.
Yeah.
Like, I know this guy's a knight of the something or other, you know, that sort of thing.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
There he
You
is.
have arrived.
I made it. Fashionably on time as
Fashionably late.
always. On time as always.
Are you gonna add to that?
Yes, actually, I did have an additum to that. I think when it on the topic of like improving NPCs and that, I instead of, like you said, writing a script, I think the best way to go about doing NPCs is to have like just bullet point things about that character.
Yeah.
And whatever could reasonably come up with him, just have like a bullet point. Like if there's a stray cat that the town has, like how does he feel about the cat? How does
that falls into the lore category. Like this guy has a problem with this guy. Like that's honestly the best way I've found to improv, because there's nothing worse than like, and I've had this happen, but like I write like, oh, the players are gonna ask him about this and they're gonna ask about that. It's like, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so I want to quickly actually just describe what's gonna happen here, and then we'll continue on obviously with the same one if it's kind of in the same topic. But oops. So what's gonna happen today is some of you might actually recognize this map. You guys should recognize it at least, the players. But this is an old map I did in a program called Dungeon Draft, and I actually have looked back on some of my maps, and I either A, want to update them to make them look better, and B, I want to transfer them to Inkarnate. So I'm going to take this map here and I'm going to basically redo it in Inkarnate and try and make it look better than it does right now. So that's the whole purpose of what's going on in the background while we shoot the shit about random crap. So, yeah, continue on, Jason, if you've got more to say. And I'm just going to fuck around here and try and pay attention.
Well, the reason why I make a distinction of the bullet point list versus like just having lore for the characters is because, at least to me, when I think of lore, I think of like a story about how the world and how things got to where they are, right? And less about like specific character traits or like a character's specific reaction to something or whatever. Like if for whatever reason one of your players is, I don't know, absolutely obsessed with eating dill pickles. Like that's his character. That's one of his defining character traits, is that he's just obsessed with dill pickles.
I love it.
Well, you then, when you're writing an NPC that the characters are going to interact with and there's going to be a conversation, like what's his disposition on pickles? Like, does he hate the smell of pickles? Maybe that's something that, like just little things like that just, and you don't need like a bullet, like 150 of them or whatever. You just need like a couple things that give you room to play around, because nothing is harder than being told like on the spot, like come up with something, and given nothing. Like,
in fact, I would say keep it to a minimum, or at least categorize them in some way. Like I found when I was first DMing for you guys in Pathfinder, and I was trying to somehow corral you guys into the one dungeon that I made. I had one character that I was going to use to do that, but I wrote so much lore on this text document that I was trying to act out the character and read the fucking information I gave about him at the same time, and it was way too much. I would say like have some points about how does this character interact with the world? How does this character interact with your characters, your player characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that that's like insanely important. Just having a small, concise list of things that allow, like, that give you stuff to interact with your players with. My favorite example of characters done really, really well in, it's a video game, but it's an RPG, and there's dialogue options and different paths, and that is the characters in Undertale, in that
I love that game.
All of those characters are incredibly well characterized, because he had to have, when he was making it, if he didn't like physically do this, he had this in his head. Every single one of those characters that you interact with regularly has a small, concise list of traits and likes and dislikes and all of that jazz. Like, Papyrus like loves to cook spaghetti, and he really wants to be part of the King's Guard, or I can't remember what it was called, the Royal Guard or whatever. He really wants to be part of that, but he's an incompetent, innocent buffoon. right? Like, and just with that few number of things, they stretch that character into genuinely one of the most humorous, like, fun, enjoyable characters in RPGs that I've played, or any video game, really.
Poodle hats, yeah. You know what? Upon looking at this and like thinking about what we're gonna talk about, I did come up with some list of topics. I knew Undertale was gonna come up, and I think in my notes it comes up at least 3 times.
Yeah, because you know it is in my opinion the greatest game that's ever been made.
That's funny because you've never played.
Yeah, not really plan on that.
What? I can't get the shape of this fucking land, man. It's driving me crazy.
Try doing it better.
The reason why
it looks like an octopus with no arms.
it's a turtle.
I hate it.
It's a turtle. You got the like shell on the back, the little arm poking out, one little leg defined. It's a turtle.
This honestly is like the hardest part of map making to me. Is like when I'm recreating something. Even when I'm doing something from scratch, is getting like a land mass, like making it look okay.
Ninja Turtle item or island.
What's that?
Oh, Captain Poodle has Ninja Turtle Island.
Oh,
I
nice.
for one support Ninja Turtle Island.
Of course.
I'm into it.
That's okay. That's semi kind of what we're looking for. Can I close down this Dungeon Master advice thing now?
You can probably get rid of that.
We've successfully confused and overloaded Captain Poodle hats.
Yeah, exactly.
Play Undertale if you want to be a good DM.
Done.
Yeah, that's true. Just turn this into an Undertale stream.
So the reason why I bring up Undertale a lot
100%
is literally because of what I said. Like it is realistically like a 7 out of 10 like game.
Yeah.
But it's a 10 out of 10 way of life.
But
Yes.
the way that it's put together and the way that
It's a 10 out of 10 piece of art for sure. Yeah.
Yes, it's a 10 out of 10 piece of art, right? Like the mechanics are nothing to write home about. No individual piece is like the greatest thing ever, but it comes together to become so much more than the sum of its parts.
All right, done.
Yeah.
And
Perfect. GG game. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to join the Discord. Smash that whatever the fuck button. And go home.
We smash that whatever the fuck button. Yeah.
you put a shell on the turtle. I love it.
Did I? Okay, I need to put this back in there. That and there. There we go. Look at it. Look how close it is. I mean, basically the fucking same.
I mean, the shape is pretty close.
It is pretty close.
It doesn't need to be exact. It's pretty similar.
Exact. What I'm gonna do now.
Put the old one as a transparent overlay.
I mean, if I had some time and the will to do that, I would. Oh yeah. One thing I wanted to bring up was talking about like different D&D editions, what you guys have played, and like Pathfinder or whatnot, or basically like tabletop RPGs in general. Kind of what you think about them, what like comparing to 5e. I mean, it's
right.
We've obviously can compare Pathfinder pretty easily, so.
Yeah, I think collectively that's the other one we have the most experience with. But for me, my first experience with D&D was I went down to Curious Comics. I guess maybe Dad drove me down there or something. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
And I bought like the like D&D like starter kit. Just like that.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a box, and it was like the most basic possible thing, where it's like it told you how to roll a character. There was a couple sheets in there. There was a set of dice. There was like a couple of battle maps. There was some, enemy tokens. There were player tokens, and I remember.
Was it like the red box though?
The red box? No. It wasn't. Wait. Let me look up. It might have been like a modern red box.
You can leave now.
4th edition essentials. Yeah, it might have been like the. Yeah, sure. It might have.
Okay.
Likely, yes.
4th edition. Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then I only had really like a passing interest in that. Like really, it didn't really grab me too much. But then when I played with Mitch and the other guys, when
That was
I
so
when,
much fun, dude.
that was a insane. Oh yeah, Jason was there too. That was an insane fucking evening.
And you were
Jason.
there. Who's Jason? Yeah. Logan.
Yeah. Yes.
Poodle hats. Could you roll a D100 for me? you picked the best person for this too.
Oh
I
my
really hope it
lord.
lands on that same thing it landed on before,
Cold and uncaring.
which was just me. Yeah.
87 is often pronounces difficult words wrong. All right, Logan, go ahead. Continue your story.
Okay. So okay.
Explain the philosophical underpinnings of 4E.
The
Is that an accent?
philosophals underpines.
Philosophical stone.
Yeah. So once I had that box set when I was younger, and then I played a larger game with my college friends, including Mitch and Jason and Saul and Eric and Chris.
What are you doing with my life here?
I think maybe someone else. I can't remember. I think that was mostly everybody, and that was 4E. But that was a raw. I mean, like I made up a lot of shit. It was pretty loose.
Yeah.
But which with 4th edition, it's hard because 4th edition, as I'm sure a lot of people know, it was more tactical and movement based.
Yeah,
That's what I hear. It's kind of like
Positioning.
more like a board game, right? Than a
Yeah,
tabletop.
it was very like 5e. You could play without a grid. Like you could just vocalize, and you could do it without an actual grid. 4e, no, literally impossible. You could not do that.
4E was, as I would say, as simplified as I've ever seen D&D become. Like in terms of character options and how the classes were structured. It's like every single class, you're gonna get a daily, you're gonna get a couple of basic abilities, and I think this 4E introduced minions, right?
Yeah, there was minions. There was
Yeah.
also push-pull mechanics as well. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
That was a big thing.
What I was understanding from I think
It was
Matt Coleman-
intraggle to the Glampla.
Oh, I think you're good now, Logan. Oh yeah, I just finished. Nice.
2-1. Yeah, there we go. That's
Perfect.
where I had to
Rough
get that
luck,
in there.
Captain Poodle.
Um,
That was a weird one.
Yeah. Some of them are really bad. Yeah, Poodleheads, go ahead. Interrupt us whenever you.
Everybody, feel free to go nuts in the
Yeah.
chat. Let's get some conversation going.
100%.
But yeah, but just to kind of finish what I was talking about. Yeah, so 4th edition was hard just by virtue of how much of a tactical game it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And that in playing 5e, I mean, I think we played 5e first, and then we really switched to Pathfinder. And Pathfinder was great because sure it was complicated, but you had so much freedom to do like anything.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like you could make your character anything. Like 5e is also nice.
Oh hey, Astro.
Like I mean, it's not quite that level of customization, but yeah, I mean nothing could be.
How's it going, Astral? Feel free to lurk.
Also, how do we meet?
How do we? Oh god, that's a thing.
We're all. I mean, it's kind of an amalgamation of a few groups. Joel and I have been friends for I've known Joel since grade 7.
Grade 7, yeah. So we've
We're in grade 1,000,000 now.
yeah, that was like 17 years ago, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So basically, Logan, Jason, and I all went to college together.
Yes.
And then Joel was Logan's Joel, and Rob
Yeah.
was Jason's Joel.
Yeah,
Rob was
that's right.
Jason's Joel.
Everybody
yeah.
has a Joel,
Yeah.
and I was Logan's
Joe
Joel.
is my Joel. You guys don't know him.
I know Joe.
I know, Joe.
You know,
No,
Joe?
I'm talking to the. Talking
Is
to
that
the,
a? That's a.
talking to the audience.
That's a 5 foot wide.
I want to talk to you fuckers. I'm here for that. I'm here for that.
But I'm watching. I can be considered the audience.
That's true.
Oh
That's
my
true.
God, you're right.
The audience was inside you the whole time.
I
I'm
guess
the audience.
mixture of college friends and childhood friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
The best kind.
We I feel like the D&D group has had 2 iterations, 3 iterations maybe, because
It's been a
We-
few iterations, yeah.
we did D&D a handful of times while we were all in college, and that group-
Only a few times.
it was only like 3 or 4, wasn't it?
Maybe 2 or 3 times. I think it was.
Like I was gonna say like 2 or 3. I only DM'd
Can't get these
One
can't get
of
these
them?
damn wooden walls to line up.
I think what it was is you DM'd one, I DM'd one, Chris DM'd one.
Oh yeah.
That sounds very accurate.
Yeah, sick invite to those games, by the way, guys.
You weren't friends with them.
Sorry, who are you?
Oh no, wait, did I DM twice? Because I seem to remember I DM'd one where it was like 8 players or something stupid, like way too many people were there.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
An
maybe.
8-player game. So I'm gonna say something.
An 8-player game when, like, what, 10 years ago? Yeah, good luck.
Like I didn't know anybody.
I'm gonna say something on.
Was there and like what was the other guy's name? Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What?
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Rob, you're in the same boat as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I literally forgot that we hung out with that Ryan guy a couple times.
Ryan, if you're in chat, take a bow.
I don't think he would be.
Definitely not in chat.
Oh, this room
That-
needs to be bigger.
That would be
God.
that would be the greatest plot twist if he
This
was.
I
fucking
remember he
room.
was just like on his laptop the whole time, like not even paying attention.
Oh, that is
Oh, well,
atrocious.
I mean,
Come on.
first of all, yeah, he was just that kind of person. But there's also way too many people.
Okay, so I was gonna say something on
Yeah.
on numbers in D&D. I'd say a hard max at 6 players. Hard
Yeah,
max.
absolutely.
That's for me. Some people are more comfortable with more, and that's fine. But for me, yeah, 6.
I think if you had, 8 or 10 or God forbid more.
If I had 6
you-
friends.
Yeah, if you had 6 friends, if you had like, let's just say a large amount of people,
Yeah.
like 8 plus, you would almost have to like change, like you would have to like homebrew the game. Cause like, I think it, like, I mean, I'm sure the rules as written don't prohibit a group like of a certain size, right? Like the rules aren't specific, like, you can only have 6 people play. Like it'll work. It just takes a long time to have everybody role play and get around to everybody's turn. You would almost have to like come up with some sort of homebrew rules to like keep it flowing.
Well,
I
you
don't
definitely
know.
have to like the flow would be the hardest part. Is trying to keep
Yeah.
people like actually
Engaged.
and not like bored out of their minds. Because like, let's face it, when there's only so long you can pay attention when your turn is like an hour away. Right?
Yeah. And especially because, I'm sure everybody has played with some people that just take a long time to do a turn.
Yeah.
Not naming names, not like anybody specifically, especially not in this group. Everybody's pretty good with it.
Rob.
Ooh, I should
I don't know when this turned into the.
Since
I don't know when this turned.
Show
into
me on the
exact
doll
Jason.
where I'm slow at turns.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm saving the map here. It might cause the stream to drop quality for a moment. I don't know.
Oh my God.
How dare you?
I apologize.
Your fighter just hit the guy.
Just hit the guy seriously. Yeah. That I mean
No.
that's. But here's the thing though, because remember Shobu? Shobu was a great character. Boring as fuck to play though, because
Yeah.
he did one, like literally one thing.
Here's the
He
thing.
hit
The
a
less
single target really hard, and that was boring as fuck.
Well, you could
you
also
want some general D&D advice? The less magic your character has, the more creative you have to be. for the
exactly
game to be fun.
100%.
Yes.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
I was just
Like you have to seriously think about
Yes.
the whole area. What is on the table? I take the mug. What am I gonna do with the mug? I don't know. I'm gonna pour fucking beer in this guy's face and catch him on fire. That's not how beer works. He's not on fire. And then
Is there a chandelier somewhere?
exactly? You have to do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I feel like more important than not having a ton of magic spells is not only having damage magic spells.
Yeah, you need to have
Like,
functionality.
Same problem. Yeah.
Just having a lot of utility is a vastly more entertaining way to play
yes.
D&D in general. Like if
Yeah.
you're even like one of the probably the only I wouldn't even call it a major problem. One of the things that stood out to me when we did the kill my players thing was that because we were all level 1, we didn't have any fun tools to play around with, and that that limited our ability to be like really wacky and creative with the dumb shit that we did.
Yeah.
Just purely because, you know, level 1 characters don't have a very big toolbox.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I mean, not to
Yeah.
talk shit about Joel while he's listening to me. I usually do it behind his back. We
That's
probably
true,
should have
yeah.
done that at like, I would honestly like even like 5th level. Like, just give us like stuff. You know?
Okay. If I could not defend myself, but do a point. I did.
Never defend yourself.
I did think about that. The reason why I chose level 1 is the kill my players thing was a huge like gamble on my part, and like there were so many unknowns that I'm like, let's not make it more difficult by making the players start at like a higher level that's naturally makes the game more complicated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Level 1 seemed like a good place to start because it's simple. It's easy to get a judge on how powerful things are because you know it's easy to die at level 1. And I wanted people to. I wanted
stop you from dropping a bunch of wargs on us.
Yeah.
you
I
fuck.
I didn't do that. That was
You are a piece of shit and you know it.
That was Foreman.
I don't know what you have against me and my characters, but I would if you could just stop wanton murdering them whenever they're on the board. That'd be pretty
Wonton
cool.
murdering.
That'd be pretty dope.
I get the
Yeah.
wonton murder soup.
I'm really stoked to do that again. Actually,
Next one is going to be at level 3.
I think Athwargo is gonna be my new main. Fucking.
Fargo's great.
So just to
Look at this
just
nerd
to
with a mane.
just to kind of draw attention to what I'm doing in the actual map here right now. I've noticed when I've done buildings before, when I add these little like wooden things, it makes the walls look so much better than
Makes it come alive.
it does. It really does.
It makes it. Oh my god, is that like a real building on my screen? No, it's not real. Oh my god,
Holy shit! Can I touch it?
I can't touch it.
I want to touch it. My hands. Ah.
You guys are gonna be invited to my next stream.
Thank God.
Oh, wow.
Finally. Want my fucking Tuesday back.
Yeah, me too.
Joel, here's a good question for you. Here's a poll on our D&D. Have you ever fudged a roll to spare a PC?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I would. I don't deny that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so spare like instant death. Like they would die if that roll went through.
It just fudged a roll to spare a PC. That's all it says.
I don't know that I've fudged.
Okay, you know what? I changed.
I've allowed
Yes.
circumstances to come
Okay.
out that make it more like.
And I have the example, and you guys will be familiar. Remember when Volcram and Horik were in?
Oh, it was Horik. That's right.
Were in the tavern by yourselves. It was a special stream with just you and Chris.
Yeah.
And assassins came out of everywhere, and I was like, oh, these guys can take it. And then
we didn't.
I didn't realize that you guys were like the only 2 utility people in the group, and everyone else was like the combat people. So you got surrounded by assassins who had like poison weapons, and they were beating the shit out of you. And I was like, oh fuck, these guys are gonna die, and it's totally my fault.
100%.
I haven't balanced this encounter at all. So I made like the bartender starts like fighting on your side, and then a guy like literally kicked the door down. He's like, here, and he rolled over 2 potions and then like ran away or something.
Yeah, literally throwing potions at us. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I know what he's doing, but like he has to salvage this somehow. Like obviously,
I have to save you. Okay, I'm gonna do that. This
like we can't just go back to the other party and they're like, oh, I guess Volcram and Horik aren't coming back.
I guess they're fucking dead. Oh my god.
That's
I mean, I didn't fudge the rolls, and then I think I let one of you guys do like a combat roll, like of combat vault over somebody. Like
I let them do maneuvers.
You were trapped behind somebody, and you're like, can I combat vault over him? I'm like, technically no, but yes.
I don't care.
Rules fluid maneuvers.
Yeah, which was fine. Like,
yeah, it's fine.
The whole okay, this am I gonna use these? I really like the looks of these. Like, here, bear with me for a sec. Do like that. Put it under there, but I gotta cover up this portion. You know what I mean?
But that's stupid.
Okay. Let's do.
But like, don't fudge rolls all the time. Like,
No,
you have to
yeah.
you have to let there be consequences and real like, yeah, there have to be actual real dangers. Because if you fudge everything because you want your players to succeed, then there isn't danger. Like when I play a game with Joel, or when Joel's DMing, I know that there's a very real possibility that he will kill me. Like I know that.
Yeah.
I've experienced this firsthand.
Many times.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times at this point.
Yeah, that's true. I do have a habit of killing your characters. I wish I could say I'm sorry, but I'm just not.
I wish I could say I'm sorry, but I enjoyed every second of it.
Yeah.
And then you tried to fucking deny it by saying, "Oh, he's not dead. He's just
He wasn't dead. Why do you always bring it up?
In a state of you literally hit him with an attack that drained his maximum health to less than 0.
That was an unfortunate crit.
Why'd you get hit?
Yeah, why'd you get hit? Dumbass.
Shouldn't have got hit.
Wait, I'm confused. How
Yo,
does Captain
chat.
Fullhats know
Yo,
that-
chat. Should he have got hit? Who's
how
in the
does
wrong
Captain
here? Is
Fullhats know
it
that Buttrug is an angry Dota man? I'm confused.
is Jason in the wrong or am I in the wrong?
He plays
the Mammoth's in the wrong.
14 and he was in the Discord for a little while. So
put that there, I think. Okay, so this looks like dog shit right now, but bear with me.
Angry Dota man. I've never heard a more succinct summation.
I mean, it's accurate. I love the guy to pieces, but it's accurate.
Did anyone mention? I thought the viewer or no, Poodle Hat's got his question, and that's good. Okay, yeah. If you guys have any questions at all, yeah, don't be afraid to just type them.
Should you put something on screen that's like ask, like maybe prompt like literally anybody that's watching? You know, as soon as they see your stream, just
It does say in the thing, chat with the players, ask questions, give input.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, we just keep reminding people, like, yeah, it's so much better to remind people. I think, like with your damn voice.
Hurry up, chat. Make us content.
Yeah, make the content for us, please.
Oh, I was gonna say something that was gonna generate a poll. Maybe like favorite class. Oh, okay. We'll put a pin in that because this is my favorite. This is my favorite one.
Yeah.
All right, so we got DM advice. We got terrible DM advice.
I got a good one.
Oh, do it.
Oh,
Hit me with it.
great. Okay, so because I saw a post on the D&D subreddit that made me think of this, but I can twist it into a terrible advice.
Excellent.
So my significant
In-law?
Wait, SIL? Sister-in-law, sorry. Sister-in-law loves playing D&D. The problem is no matter how much help I give her, like spell cards or even magic items, I would say, okay, it's your turn. She would say, I throw a dart. I take it she is a level 7 bard. Ever had this issue? I started to want to make her lose them. So for this person, so what you need to do is the next time they say I throw a dart, say you can't do that anymore.
Oh yeah, that's important. It's really important to define the boundaries as rigidly as possible.
Yeah, even when they make no sense. If a player is doing something that you don't like, tell them that they cannot do it anymore, and don't explain yourself.
Well, it's magic. The world is magic.
It's magic, exactly.
Doesn't need to make sense.
You don't need to explain yourself. You're the DM, and the DM is always right.
The players don't need to understand anything.
So I'm just gonna put a bunch of tables on the ground here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really. Here's another thing as well. Players love being challenged and they also love being surprised. So I would say it's important to kill your players and make the entire campaign based around difficult, gritty combat without telling the players ahead of time, so that they all die in the first session.
Or even like a single injury can mean like death because it'll get infected.
Yes.
Another really important thing is to treat your campaign like have you ever been bowling and they got like the kids bowling lanes that have the bumpers and like there's
Those are for kids?
I got some bad news for you, fam. You want to treat your campaign like that, just a straight path railroad.
Yeah.
And make sure that, you know, like they said, your combat scenarios are really gritty and everything is really hard, but you have to have your own personal original character that comes in and saves the day constantly.
Oh, you're cutting into my DM advice I had. I'm just kidding. Go on.
Players are weak, scared little children, and they want to be saved. And nothing makes them feel more liked and loved than having Zero jump on the scene and save them from an impossible scenario
100%.
constantly.
Yeah.
It's really important that you don't let your characters use their own abilities the way they were written.
I don't like
Yeah.
these tables. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
It's not working. The problem is the drop shadow on them. If
You know
get
what
rid
the
of
problem is?
They're tables.
Yeah, they're tables and they're not floor. Table. So I need to figure out something else. Keep going.
No creativity is the best creativity.
Yeah. it's
Okay,
important
if I could give a terrible, what do we got here? Okay, so my first one was never miss out a chance to show off your new badass NPC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, okay, so having a badass NPC is fine, but they're not the main character.
What do you mean?
The players are the main characters.
What are you talking about? The badass NPC is the one that's going to lead your idiot players through the campaign.
I love it when I'm playing in a group and we're struggling through, like, you know, defeating some goblins, and then Sephiroth comes down and just summons a meteor and kills them all in one
Knights
hit.
of the
And then
round.
goes, "See you later, fuckers," and just leaves.
Knights of the round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well. See you later.
Yeah, like you're just delving in a cave and your player's just here, and you're just like, "Oh fuck, god damn it."
Just son of a bitch.
Oh no, it's this guy again.
Looks like you guys could use some help. Oh, fuck off, Sephiroth.
Oh my god, how do you remember all those Latin words?
Oh, man. What can I say?
Those are not the words.
Je m'appelle Claude. Blablabla.
Superfleflo.
Fliflifliflu.
This is the kind of content you guys came here for, right?
Okay, that's probably enough.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let me fucking get rid of that.
And that was terrible DMing.
See you in 50...
I think all the terrible DM advice just boils down to make sure your players don't have fun.
Pretty much, like, don't
Yeah.
let your players play the game.
Take their choice away. I've got some good ones in here. I'm gonna cross off the ones that. Well, I guess I need to cross them off.
Save
'cause
them,
I can-
save.
Save it.
The most important thing to remember when DMing is that your players are there to test drive your new novel concept, and and just sit there and listen to you prattle on about your cool OCs and your deep lore for hours and hours.
Yeah.
I want unneeded Sephiroth as a god NPC character. Unneeded Sephiroth.
Oh my god, that would be an amazing fucking
Oh, he should be a viewer reward.
yeah, a viewer
It'd
reward.
be okay as a meme character, but you
It'd
need
be
to
funny as a
structure
joke.
His entrances.
Yeah.
Well,
you need to
yeah.
Structure his entrances so that it makes sense. That the game.
What do you-
doesn't get
okay,
Broken by it.
What do you
Everything
do?
bad is fine if it's ironic.
What do you do when the players are always trying to get more and more NPCs to join the party? I don't know, Mitch. What do you do?
Rob, I don't listen to this.
You need to wait more and more. So what, they've already recruited
Okay.
like a small army.
So
Here's the thing.
let's
Here's
talk
the way I
about
would do it.
let's talk about old Merrick.
Old Merrick started off his life as what was he now, a sensei that got the leadership feat?
Okay, so this was in Pathfinder. This was
He was a cleric, I think.
this was in Pathfinder, and
he
you
was
were
a monk. Cleric.
you were like 10 classes.
Yeah, you had like fuck.
That's
You were like
Pathfinder, man. You just do crazy level 1 dips and get ridiculous
Dips?
bullshit.
Your first class with old Merrick was like a hammer, a retrievable throwing hammer
I
monk.
wanted that build to
yeah.
work so bad. I worked for hours on that build, and it all came together, and I'm like, these pieces don't fit together. I
Yeah.
couldn't get all the things I needed for it to work, and I was
Yeah.
so sad.
You did
so
like 18 feats just to make it work.
Yeah, he
He-
was gonna be like a combat cleric that threw returning two-handed hammers.
I was pretty upset that didn't work. But my favorite part about that was that didn't work. You read the word multi-class and you took that as a challenge.
Yeah,
All
You're
of
just
them.
like
I mean, it wasn't as bad as Duncan. Duncan actually ended up with 3 classes at the end. I think Merrick was only 2.
Merrick was
Oh,
only
yeah.
2?
Pretty
I
sure
coulda
he was like 1 level of sensei and the rest was cleric, but he was like an ecclesiarch, so it was like he could switch up his domains and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Were you gonna answer this guy's question at some point, or were you just gonna talk about Merrick?
What do you do in the sorry? What do you play with more NPCs?
Sorry,
Oh, yeah, well,
sorry, Astral.
you started off talking about the leadership feat.
Oh, I
Yeah,
gotta
well,
step away
okay,
for a few
yeah,
minutes.
Joel,
Yeah.
if you want to comment on that, because that's its own clusterfuck. I still don't.
Oh my god. Okay, so
I don't know
obviously,
that I would actually allow that in my game now that I'm.
well, okay, so I'm hesitant to use the words "that's not allowed" because you know.
Pretty busted though. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a difference between like, you know, that's OP and that's just not fun.
It's like, yeah, there's a difference between that's not allowed and I'm going to punish you greatly for this.
Yeah, because it's like, that's a lot of like busy work. Like the turns will literally take forever. And it's
I'm
one.
I'm not terribly slow at my turns.
No. But
Not too
but
bad,
it's
but
like
it could
one
be bad.
one person playing
Let's
multiple
clarify-
characters.
Let's actually clarify what we're talking about. So in Pathfinder, when you get the leadership feat, there's a whole look up Pathfinder leadership feat first of all. It's a huge excerpt explaining the rules for essentially allowing yourself to have a small party of NPCs with you.
Small
There's
army.
a bunch of low-level parties, NPCs. Usually they're like level 1 through 3. As you get higher, like level 3 is like some of the more higher low-level NPCs you can have with some air quotes. And you get one character that stays a certain number of levels behind you dependent on your charisma.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I was a cleric, so I had charisma. Also, I had wisdom, and I was also dipping into a monk to get wisdom-related bonuses. Let's not worry about that. Charisdom.
Charisdom.
So my guy was really decent at magic. He actually had an okay, he got a lot of bonuses to his defenses because of being a monk. The main thing he was missing was skill points. So, Jimothy, what was it now? Jimothy Smartaman was born.
Jimothy Smartaman.
Jimothy Smartaman was an intelligence-based.
Oh my god! If you
arcane
guys can find a
trickster.
picture of him, like his
Yeah,
JoJo fucking character portrait, he
Oh,
was the greatest thing in that campaign, I think.
He was for sure.
So, look out, guys!
But anyways, I built him as you would expect. I built him intelligence based, so he had a shitload of skill points, and so he basically filled in all of my character's weaknesses.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the truth. I would never build something like this again. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so busted.
So, I mean, to answer your
To
question,
clarify though,
Yeah.
the way you get around this as a DM though is you've got to very carefully, if you're going to allow this, you've got to read the rules and really stick to it and not let too much ground go, because the rules on the feat do not say that the character can choose what their character is. Does not say they can play that character as themselves. Like I basically just ended up playing both of the characters straight up, more or less, other than some dialogue. So you have to really, I would say you have to be really cautious about not giving up too much ground for that sort of thing. Like with this campaign with these guys, they were joking with Lost Minds, they were joking about bringing the zombie merchant with them, and I think if you guys had pressed me, I mean, you guys really did piss him off, and you were very rude to him. So I kind of had
Did
already
we?
decided that he didn't like you guys. But I don't remember why. But you guys were cussing about, and you said that was what it was. You said his name wrong a bunch. No, that was the innkeeper. You guys are just generally rude to a lot of people. I'm pretty sure.
it's
that's what
true. I
usually am.
can't keep track of it.
How would I handle this though? I mean, you know, part of me says I would want to like mess with that character and like just make sure they don't stay super strong. Like they've got was it now Droop? This random character that I just didn't create, but like he was in there and then you guys took him and he's just really, really weak. He's not
We
very
just
useful.
took him.
Droop is OP.
You just took him. And I mean, I don't know, don't make him useful in combat. Find ways to disable his combat abilities. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you guys can't bring Gandalf with you. That's not okay.
And we wouldn't
like-
want to, because that's like it's you know, we're the players. Like that's the whole point is we play the game, right?
Yeah, but if you did, what would I do? I would
Furnace?
probably, I gotta be honest, I would probably target him with my NPCs. Like, not just like, okay, the goblin is going to rush through a crowd of you to go straight for Gandalf, but more like, I'm gonna try to sunder his arcane focus. I'm gonna try to steal his equipment. I'm gonna try to injure him. I'm gonna try to get him poisoned. Can
So-
I knock him out?
If I may, the only issue with that is when you start to be like, okay, I'll let them do this, but I'm going to like, I'm going to basically target that person, is it starts to turn into a game of DM versus the players. And despite, the nature of D&D, it is not DM versus the players. Not really.
I would say
What do
it
you
only
mean?
It only depends on how much of an impact the character's having. Like, what I'm saying is dependent upon the condition that this character is too powerful and is having a serious detrimental impact.
Yeah. But again, though, if you start like, okay, he's too powerful, I'm going to go after him, then the player starts feeling like, okay, he's targeting me. And depending on like how that player feels about that, you can start opening a new can of worms about it, right? Because then you're effectively pseudo telling them no, they can't do that.
I mean, to be clear, I would play that straight. I wouldn't send overpowered stuff after him, but I would make it a serious challenge to keep this character relevant.
True. I guess what I'm saying is you just have to be careful with that kind of approach. Is that you don't want the player, you really don't want the player to feel like they're being targeted because they've made a decision.
Clear, I have never tested this approach out because I've never had this problem.
You can't be targeted like you target Corin all the time.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy. I will target him all the time.
Red River Stream. I save a lot. I'm sorry. I've had this program crash a couple times when I've like done a bunch of things, and I don't like it. So
Crash enough to warrant saving.
yeah. So
costs.
I do. I usually, if it's like a few big changes, I will save. Apologies.
Did we touch on? Sorry, I was paying attention to something else for like a minute there. Did we touch on how like Doomcan was handled when it comes to like having a ton of followers and whatnot?
I don't think he had like followers that actually were a part of the.
He didn't, and that's actually where I was going with that. In that, remember there was the Church of Smash, right? That Doomkin had.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he kept recruiting people, and every time that he would recruit, I'll clarify that in a second, but every time he would recruit somebody, they would go to this nebulous church of, yeah, Mitch can handle that. This Church of Doomcan.
Church of Smash.
Sorry, Church of Smash. I mean, Doomkin is Smash, and Smash is Doomkin.
Yeah,
True.
And so the problem of, well, how do you solve having one of your players just recruit and
trying to run a faction, basically.
yes, and the way that Joel handled it, and I mean this was, I think, a group kind of decision, I'm not sure, but the way that ended up working in that is that they would all just kind of go to this nebulous faction that would not have a direct impact on the story, but would just kind of be there, that could be called upon for different like story hooks or whatnot. Like, for example, we at one point did a battle with I won't tell the full story, I'll let Mitch tell that because that story is fucking amazing. But we ended up having like a big pirate faction that joined the Church of Doomcan, and then suddenly we, had this just basically a way to cart people around if needed. That came up a few times. Is like, oh, we need this NPC or this character to get to this location. Like, how are we going to do that? Oh, well, Doomcan has a church that he's the head of that has all of these different assets to work with, and we can have these pirate guys that he recruited, ferry people around. And it worked like super fucking well without directly impacting the balance of the game or making it where,
And
Mitch.
this was reasonably late game too, so it was thankfully mostly story related stuff that it affected.
Yes. And like it was I like, just to relate it, like I think that was a really smart and good way to handle not having Mitch run around with a zoo build, because like
100%.
And that's not what I wanted, really. Like, I didn't want to control a bunch of stuff on a battlefield. I wanted options in terms of how I can interact with the story and the world, you know?
You wanted political power.
I wanted power.
You wanted to play Civilization while we're playing like fucking.
The Guild
Uh,
2.
That's the game.
Exactly right.
That's the game that I was trying to think of. I couldn't remember the name of that fucking thing.
You have now learned how to one-shot a pirate in the Guild 2.
Okay, go into the pirate story, please.
Oh god. Okay. Well, I don't even know if there's that much to it, really. I mean, well,
No,
okay. So
I'm
here's
gonna,
the thing.
I'm gonna pause you. I'm gonna pause you. Pause you. The way you should tell this story is first explain Duncan and then go into the pirate.
Okay,
thing.
all right.
sorry.
While you do that,
Before-
I'm gonna AFK for about a minute.
Okay, before Mitch goes into this, because Guild 2, was it you or Mitch that when like the one time like us three played, which one of you like fucked my in-game wife and then
I think we all did.
I think most of the
Welcome to the Guild
shenanigans
2.
were Joel.
Don't fucking blame me.
Well, look, I've got an upstanding establishment here.
Fuck
We were making
off.
bread.
Fuck off.
I was making bread.
I just remember seeing like a little pop-up and then just going, did you fuck my wife? And I'm pretty sure in game she was like, I love him. something stupid.
No, okay,
Oh,
so
Thank you, my lord.
that was Crusader Kings 3, or it might have been both. It might
Yeah,
have been,
it might have been both. It might have been
but in
both.
Crusader Kings 3, me and Eric were both fucking your
Oh,
we were
yeah,
both
that's
fucking your
right.
wife, and then we both got your wife involved with a murder plot to kill you.
Why in any game I play, do you guys force me into like this weird cuckold situation?
'Cause it's fun.
You-
It's it.
Logan, it's fun. It's fun.
There goes Joel gaslighting me yet again.
Oh my god. I didn't gaslight you. I
tell you.
I admitted to it.
Mm-hmm.
I admitted it.
You know what happens when you say I'm not gaslighting you? You're gaslighting me.
Well, that's not really fair. I can't fucking defend myself then.
I'm pretty sure, Logan, didn't you kill Joel's wife, or was that me? I killed your wife.
Okay, now he's gaslighting, see?
I don't remember. I think,
That's the
I think
difference.
Logan. I don't remember.
Oh.
I care
fried
too
egg?
much about the truth.
Yeah, there's some fried eggs in here. I don't think I'm gonna add the fried egg because this is supposed to be like, you know, this has been here for a while, and the fried egg doesn't make sense.
Okay.
This house is in ruins. There's a fresh fried egg that's still hot.
Oh, maybe that's part of the mystery. Ooh.
Oh my god.
Sorry, Mitch. Go ahead.
Well, what angle do I want to take this from? I feel like it's too obvious if I explain Duncan first. Okay, so I think
What does he look like?
I'm gonna do.
Start at the
no,
top.
I think I'm gonna do this actually in reverse order from what Jason.
I'm gonna put
explained.
a broken bench right here.
I feel like this is too obvious if I explain what Duncan is first. What difference does it make? Okay. So Duncan was my first Pathfinder character. He was a fighter. He started life. Oh, you're right. He had 3. He started life as a fighter. And I was just trying to make a fighter. I didn't know what I was doing. I just looked up a simple fighter build and I basically just followed it for a little while. I didn't follow for very long and I got creative after a bit. Eventually he was like a fighter who was like a single level of travel cleric because it gave him like plus 10 feet of movement speed and like some other stuff that I never used. It was mostly for the movement speed.
What the hell's with these low ass res fucking candles?
Oh my god. Did you
don't-
scale something up too high?
I don't know. I don't like it.
Oh, weird.
Scale everything else down. I mean that is an option.
And then he ended up with some levels of like thug at the end, which is a rogue archetype. Anyways, so this guy was like
That doesn't look too bad.
as simple, as simple a character, but also like very much optimized for just like running around slamming stuff.
Yeah.
Jimkins.
And he created his Church of Smash, and he used a very broken weapon called a butcher's axe.
Ah, yes.
yeah.
I
Oh my
remember.
I think it started off with like 2d10 damage or something like that.
Something
Pathfinder.
redonk.
Duncan's
Butcher's axe.
Duncan's damage rolls, like I'm
was
pretty sure both Joel and I were convinced that Mitch was just straight up cheating.
I thought
cheating.
I thought
know,
you were cheating.
I know you were.
I'm honestly gonna
Here's
say
the
I
thing.
thought you were cheating.
Here's the thing. He couldn't even use the weapon without a -2 penalty on it until he got 19 strength. So
Yeah.
like it was not good at first technically. Here's
Okay,
what it was.
sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I also forgot my other cleric domain was growth, so I used it to cast enlarge self on myself.
Oh my god.
So it's a 3d6 weapon. That's what it is. 3d6,
So stupid.
which in Pathfinder turns into. So the way the damage dice work in Pathfinder is if you've got say 1d6 and you go up a weapon size, you go to 1d8, and then you go to 1d10, and then it does something interesting. It just does from there. It goes 2d6, 2d8, 3d6, 3d8. 4d6, 4d8, right? So every time you go up a weapon size, my 3d6 was going to 3d8. And in Pathfinder, there are different multipliers for critical hits. So my
Yeah.
critical hit multiplier was ×3.
Yep.
All right. So
Were you also able to crit on a 19?
no, but that is a common thing you can do in Pathfinder. This guy actually really was not built for critting.
Oh yeah,
Anyway.
remember Enzo Stormborn, he would crit on like a 15 plus.
Yeah, you made an actually optimized build. This guy was, to be clear, my guy was actually not optimized.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, and
I just picked
Yeah.
a lot of fun stuff that made him very versatile for what he was.
He did die at one
If-
point.
If you
did
wanted
die.
to, yeah.
Twice, I think.
He did technically die. Yes, that's
Twice?
true.
What was the other time?
Maybe it was only once, but I managed to kill Duncan by putting
me.
him to sleep and then coup de grace him, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, this is the thing. He was not actually hard to kill if the DM was trying. Like seriously, he had tons of weaknesses. And also, I did not realize how dangerous a coup de grace is. Then
Yes.
I
Yes.
knew after that.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like an auto
Make-
crit.
it's auto crit and make a con save DC of the damage you took. If
Oh.
you fail, you die.
Yeah,
That's
So it's
fucked
like
up.
absurd.
it's-
Like,
it's
you are
actually fucked
almost certainly dead.
God, I miss
Like
Pathfinder.
basically, unless you're a fucking elder dragon or something, you're going to die from
Yeah.
this.
What kind of chair should I use
Um,
here? Should I use a fancy chair? I want to use a
In fact,
broken
now that I
one.
think about it. No, it's not even based on your health points. Yeah, no, even if you were to coup de grace an elder dragon, if Duncan coup de grace an elder dragon, that dragon's fucking dead.
Maybe
Probably.
this one.
Because an instant crit would be.
It's yeah,
an
coup de grace.
enlarged crit would be 9d8 damage.
Let's change the hue.
Wow.
That's what that would be. So, anyways, so all right, so we're playing this character.
98 plus whatever bonuses.
Plus, oh yeah, plus an absurd amount of bonuses. Plus two-handed bonuses, because that's a thing. Plus power attack. I forgot
Oh my
about
God,
power
there's-
attack.
Oh, yeah, power attack.
So
Oh my
many
God.
things, dude.
Yeah.
Pathfinder.
So many things.
Nuts. Anyways, so yeah, so Duncan is literally just a run and spank kind of character. I almost gave him the ability to teleport, but then I didn't want to put that many levels into cleric. But he would have had a blink.
Yeah.
He would have
Anyways, so that's Duncan, and one day we needed to go across a body of water. So we hired a merchant vessel and said, "Hey, we'll crew your ship and we'll defend your vessel. We're very powerful heroes. They know who we are." So they took us on, and we started going, and we heard tales of this dangerous, dread pirate that was patrolling the local waters. And everyone was really worried about him, and so we were like, okay, this guy might be trouble. And yeah, so we start going along, and wait a minute,
Chimkin.
yes, Chimkin. So of course the pirate shows up and starts to try and take our booty. And now here's the thing: did Duncan get a teleport? How did he get across?
I think he just ran. He rolled
he
high.
swing?
He rolled high on his initiative. No.
Yeah.
The pirate came
Oh yeah, he
over
was
and
built
he's
for initiative too.
okay. So this is what happened.
We always went first.
This is what happened.
Tell me.
Basically, this ship boarded you. I don't remember why you guys let them board you, but they got up and they boarded you, and then the dude like hopped over the edge. Is like, haha, you have been boarded by it was like the handsome boys or something like that, and it was like this elvish, dashing elvish captain.
Christ.
And he's like, I challenge your strongest to a duel.
I forgot so much of this.
If they
I
win,
challenged him to a duel.
No, I think he challenged you.
Mm-mm.
Oh no!
I challenged him.
No, that's true. That's true. You're right.
See, in the role of the handsome pirate, I'm literally just picturing Theseus.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Like just straight up.
So Duncan challenges him to a duel, and he's like, "All right, if you win, you shall have my ship." And then they roll initiative. Duncan rolls higher, runs up, crits him, sends him flying over the edge. He's dead instantly.
Immediately disintegrates him in one hit with a crit.
Now in my
and his crew is just left slack-jawed. They don't know what to do.
and honestly, in my a little boast about my DMing skill there, I had so much stuff prepped for that. I was just like, nah, this is better. And so I just, because I could have been like, no, he doesn't die or something like that, but I'm like, no, he's fucking dead. You beat the boss fight. You beat the thing I spent an hour prepping. That's fine, because it was actually so much better this way.
I appeal to Joel's sense of his character's pride.
Exactly.
Which means, by extension, I appealed to Joel's pride, and it worked.
I think I planned that guy I planned on him to survive. It wasn't going to be a rabbit poop. What? It wasn't going to be a fight to the death.
He was basically the same build as that Stormborn guy, wasn't he? He was basically the same Magus that you ended up playing.
Oh.
God.
All right, roll D100. I don't remember, honestly.
My favorite part about that fucking interaction was that you had all of this shit planned. Like, you had like swinging from ship to ship mechanics figured out. You had just a crazy amount of work put into making this encounter.
So sorry.
And we rolled in,
Oh,
and Mitch was just like, hey, you want a duel? And you were like, oh yeah, this could be a cool RP moment. And you're like, yeah, sure, let's duel. He fucking walks up.
Give me 5 minutes. This is an easy one.
Oh no, okay, well, it's gonna take me a while to switch the timer.
Oh, fine. Very well, very well.
Duncan walks up to this motherfucker, crits him, and on the crit, all you hear is fucking Joel's headset hit his desk and him screaming in the background. And it was genuinely the funniest moment I've ever experienced in D&D.
Did I do that?
Yes,
It was marvelous.
the timing of it was perfect. He fucking rolled. It was a crit, and you just hear your headset hit the desk, and you're like, fuck, in the background.
Oh my god, it was like 106 damage.
You know the sound when you hit somebody with the home run bat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
there was like 5 of those.
And if I remember correctly, I believe he went skipping across the water.
Yeah, he skipped a few times. It was like Worms Armageddon when you send something with a bat. It's like, blink, blink. Whoopsie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was, holy fuck, chef's kiss. That moment was fucking perfect.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't remember.
was-
I don't remember losing my ship, but that's so funny. It's funny that I did.
You definitely hilarious.
I very specifically.
I wasn't
remember-
actually mad though, right?
No.
Okay.
No. You did it
Oh
for
my God.
comedic effect, but holy fuck, was it perfect? Like
Perfect.
I so specifically remember the sound of the headset hitting the desk and coming over the mic, and then you making like a frustrated like bah! sound in the background.
Mitch, what do you think about it? You do the accent, Mitch.
Oh my god. Well, I think to me, the best part is that we all took away something completely different. Oh my goodness. I completely forgot that I challenged him in the first place.
Yeah, you made it happen.
Oh, it was so wonderful.
Oh, Joel, here. Ooh. Put on the DM advice guy for a sec. I got a good
Okay,
one. I got a really good one.
Oh, is this a free DM advice? Okay,
yeah,
so
this is a free
got
one.
rage.
Yeah, this is free.
Mitch, you're good. Is this terrible or a good one?
No, it's good. It's good.
Oh, okay, perfect.
It is a very. Oh, I did it anyways. Damn it. Okay, well, I mean, whatever. I'm gonna tell you anyways. Yeah. So.
This table's too big.
Like let's just take this classic example of Joel preparing something for a while, like a multi warship or a multi ship like combat with like, you know, you can swing, you know, there's a lot of things going on. It's, you know, it's a little bit complex, you know, just in terms of just, you know, what's happening, right? There's a lot going on.
Yes.
And he made, you know, specific things for this, and he was expecting it to be like a huge thing. So the advice is you need to be ready to throw that away.
100%. Yes.
It doesn't matter what you prepared. If the players have naturally figured out something else that is like, you know, let's say a complete alternative, or they breeze through it in a fraction of the time, like you blinked and it's over, you need to just throw it away. If, I mean, you don't have to, but like if it,
You need to be ready.
you need to be ready to, because it could very well happen. You know, like what if, you know, if Mitch had done that huge crit, and it like the crit of crits.
It was like 106 damage. It was
Yeah, it was crazy.
easily
Just like
his whole health.
the perfection of the moment. And then imagine if Joel was like, well, I mean, you know, he takes the hit, but you know, like he's fine.
Wow, he's still hanging in there, crazy.
Yeah,
How
you
did
know,
he do
like
it?
it's like, okay, yeah, sure, buddy.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
he just behind the scene gave him an extra 200 health, yeah, that would have been
Would have made no sense.
that would go from being like something that genuinely stands out as one of my favorite moments in any in my time playing D&D to like literally forgettable. Like it would have
Yeah.
been like anticlimactic, it would have been like nah, whatever. And yeah, like you need to be willing, just to balance off what Logan was said, you definitely need to be willing to just let your players have fun, come up with creative solutions, and be willing to don't get too invested with a single idea when you're DMing. I think is important
Yeah.
because
oh
you know,
yeah, 100%.
like your players are going to, no matter how much you think something's a good idea or how cool you think something is or how sure you are, your players are going to have a certain experience. It's never going to play out exactly the way that you anticipate. So having a very curated idea for an experience of what you want your players to do and how you want things to go down
Oh yeah, you'll never bring it about.
is a terrible idea.
Mhm.
Like you need to be like an example that comes into my mind is I got two counter examples to this.
Hit me with them.
One of the first ever, I think this is literally the first time I played D&D. I came into the campaign a little late, and
Talk about Turpins?
yep, I'm talking about Turpins.
Yeah.
And Rob was there, of course. He and a couple of our other friends, it was him and a couple of our other friends who had started this originally, and then I got added to it a fair bit later. And he had this idea for a story, and you know, like all good stories, it started in a bar, and the version of events that I heard, or my understanding of what had happened, is that the DM had like an idea for like a story, and you know, had all these like plot points and had like a story, much like the way you know, you do, Joel. And Rob's character rolled into this bar and immediately started a blood feud with this bard, and the entirety of their campaign
That's a very novice player.
the entirety of their campaign revolved around them hunting this fucking bard around and trying to destroy him. And
An NPC bard, right?
an NPC
Yes.
bard, yes,
yeah, another
yes,
player.
It was just this smug bard who was an asshole, and I think he ended up beating up Rob's character or the party or
Oh,
something.
shit, yeah, that's. I don't remember this all that well, but my character started shit because it was my first time playing, and I was just, I don't know.
You just gotta start shit.
And
I went to the bar and
15-year-old.
yeah, and I started, and the bard started singing a song, and I was playing a monk at the time. It was kill the monk, kill. It was just him chanting "kill the monk" as he kicked my ass, and everyone just watched because of course they would. Why would they help me fight a man who's just trying to entertain people in a bar?
Indeed.
But they then all listened to me when I was like, "Hey, like our DM's trying to throw plot hooks out there," and I'm like, "Well, hold on, I got to get revenge,"
Oh my god.
and that's what the entire campaign became.
And like fucking he just rolled with it. He had his story that he wanted to tell, and he tried to tie that in the best that he could to their fucking crusade against this bard. But like I specifically remember the final encounter being against this fucking bard.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it was
so
on like
perfect.
this crazy like fucking floating platform in the sky while thunder and lightning was clapping around.
Oh my god.
And this bard ends up dying by one of our other friend's characters, who is a lizard man who was wearing soiled trousers that he took from a guy who he killed earlier in the campaign.
He
And
also wore a mind flayer's face that he.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
I didn't
alright.
remember. I didn't remember that part. I just remembered the soiled trousers and him being a lizard man with a big axe. I have no idea what class he was, and he,
No idea.
the fucking bard, ended up dying by this lizard man with an axe, smacking him in the chin with the flat of his axe, his chin breaking off, and like evil spirits come pouring out, and the shrieking and shit. It was like the silliest shit in the world, but
Yeah.
it's the perfect example of that idea of like, just go with what your players are doing, whatever hooks that they're interested in.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily. I don't know, man. I would have reined us in a little bit, but
Of
it's
course.
been some time.
There should be some reining in and whatnot, but like when you have, I feel like it's really important to keep your players, in order to keep your players engaged, to allow shit for like that to happen. Like, if that was to happen in a campaign that Joel was running, like obviously it's not going to turn into us five crusading against some bard. But that's the perfect hook to have that annoying comic relief reoccurring villain, right? Where he just kind of pops up and we have interactions with them as we go through the main story, right? Like don't just disregard that completely, especially when your players are like really stoked on what it is, because like I remember us all, well, I remember you guys being super excited when you were telling me about this. And, most of the people who were playing his campaign didn't care about the story that he was telling. They cared about getting revenge on this fucking bard.
I don't even remember what the story was.
Neither do
I don't think
have
we
no
ever
idea.
got to it. It was immediately. It was like, all right, where do you guys go?
Terrorizing this DM.
And we're like, where did the
Oh,
bard
yeah.
go? So we just go where the bard went.
Yeah, they would literally follow the bard, and this is unrelated, but I remember when I joined that fucking thing, I've always been like, I've always enjoyed the juxtaposition of the fact that I'm a big dude. I'm like got the big beard. I look like Haggard. Like I'm a big, aggressive looking, manly man looking dude.
Jason, describing you, the word I would not use is aggressive.
my personality and my demeanor is not aggressive, but I have that like.
I get what you're saying. I get it.
Yes, like I don't mean I'm literally aggressive or that I look like really aggressive. I mean like that's kind of like what I look like,
Yeah.
right? Like I just have that look to me. And I've always loved the juxtaposition of that and then going and playing like the cutesy little anime girl character, which is what I played in that first campaign that we
Yes,
did.
I
Don't remember
remember.
that at all.
What was the name again?
What?
What was the name of that damn character again?
I'm talking. I never played a cutesy anime character when us. Oh wait, did I? I don't
Yeah, you
remember.
did.
Something high
Yeah,
pitched.
the first one, the first
The first one.
session that we did at Mitch's parents'
Played
place.
your like high nasal.
Yeah,
Did
it was a really high nasally voice.
Did I do that fucking again? I don't remember at all
did.
doing that again.
I know you did.
It's burned into my
Yeah.
brain retinas.
If I did it again, the reason why I did it again is because the first character I ever played was a tiny, like anime girl, like wizard or something.
And the first time worked out so well. I just can't remember the name. Damn it! I still have the character sheets.
Oh my, go find them. But I at the time I was like zero interest in like playing a character, or by playing a character I mean like RP, playing a character and doing RP stuff. Like that wasn't for me at that period of my life. And I remember the DM specifically is like, all right, Jason, what do you say to this character that we had to go and interact with in some town? And he specifically was trying to get me to act in character. And I could probably not replicate the voice now because my fucking voice box dropped or whatever the hell it is. But in the most, I hit puberty. Well, it's not just that I hit puberty. Like even after I hit puberty for a long time into like my 20s, I could do like a really, really high pitched voice, and that's gone away.
I'm kind of sad. I'm actually starting to lose that too. I used to have a decent falsetto, but
yeah. But like I just fucking walked up and in the most ridiculous voice, I'm just like, got any quests? In like this really, really, really high pitched stupid voice. And he, after everybody stopped fucking laughing at this, he never made me talk in character again. He just didn't, because he knew what was coming.
That's a power move.
The ultimate power play. Okay, here's my D&D folder. I've had this folder for the whole time ever since that first day.
Are you serious? Oh my god, dude.
All right, let me see this. I think I still got the 4E sheets. Here's some sheets. Oh, what's this? What is this room? I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna put
Rimgar.
the tree.
Peef
trucks.
Rimgar, that was mine.
I got Peef Rimgar, the paladin here.
Peef,
Yeah,
Peef
Peef Rimgar.
Rimgar.
Yeah.
I have no memory of this man.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
Terrible
excellent.
DM device. Well, I'm sure we could cobble some together from this D&D folder.
Okay. I've got. All right, let me just read through what I got here.
Got Aurum Gracius, the level 2 ranger, also known as Saul the Punisher.
Oh, so. Oh my god, he's. Oh my god, he would be. Oh, that's so funny.
Okay. Only award experience if your players kill enemies.
Yeah, that's so bad. That is such.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great
That's a
advice?
classic bad one.
Only award experience if your players kill your enemies. If they don't actually kill the enemy, they don't get experience.
Yes.
Yeah. Incentivize nothing.
In
order for a character to get experience, they need to kill something.
They need to kill the thing. That's the rule. That don't look it up, but that's the rule.
I saw a fantastic. Oh, I should see if I can just find the clip, because I won't be able to do it justice.
Will these work? How does this look? Okay, I'm trying to find fucking walls, like trunks.
I think the way that you had it the first time.
That won't work because this floor is automatically going to be below. That.
Oh, you can't put.
Yeah, this is like a brush, and stamps are their own layer. I wish.
You can't like make that a separate layer then put it above.
Looks like pretzels. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, Jason. I think you were Greem.
Yeah, I was Green.
Yeah.
Green.
So only award experience if your players kill things. Yeah. Logan, did you say you found something?
I'm trying to find it because I won't be able to do it justice.
Green.
Big tree
I
stumps.
also have some of the sketches from the Pathfinder stuff I did too.
I wonder if I can make this work.
If I remember correctly, Green wasn't a female character; it was a male character, and I talked like in like a really high-pitched, nasally, like just that nerd trope voice, like just really obnoxious.
There we go. That looks really good.
I think we should open the door, guys.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
That's
Something
horrible.
like that.
That sounds very tolerable for long periods of time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. Fucking, I fucking remember the very first time we all played, and we sat there for like an hour with you. Like we were literally like, you tasked us with breaking into the.
Oh yeah.
Please don't.
Hey Jason, hold that thought. Astral, could you roll a D100 for me, please?
You're gonna get something that I can't do, and it's gonna be terrible.
That's
no,
the plan.
It's fine.
That's
Don't
the
worry
plan.
about it. Okay. What did we get here? 20. Jason, Russian accent?
This I can do.
Here we go.
All right, comrades. What happened here is that I remember long ago in Mother Russia when we first.
Not bad.
The first time that any of us played D&D. Well, I know it was not the first time I had played D&D. I was the only one who had played D&D, and the rest of you had not. And we seriously sat outside of this door for like an hour, staring at it, thinking, "What do we do? How do we open door?
How do we door?
How do we door?" And I had to say, look, guys, this is enemy base. This is enemy establishment. We need to first listen to door. And I made my perception check, and I looked through the keyhole, and then I got one of them to knock down door because there was not anybody on the other side of door. And then we entered the basement of the mansion. I don't know why that's where our adventure had started, but that is what we started first. And I remember throwing apples with Mage Hand as my attacks because I was just trying to be LOL creative.
Oh my
That
God,
was-
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you crit somebody and kill them with it?
If I remember correctly, not only did I throw apples, but I would also throw body part. And I think I crit with one of them, and I ended up stabbing to death a man with his friend's head.
What?
How do you stab it? Okay, all right.
That's
I threw his friend's head at him so hard it pierced his chest and went into it.
Cheese.
I think I still have a recording of us, actually. I think I have a recording of this session on my old phone.
Oh yeah, because
right
you just
beside
used your
me.
phone. Yeah.
And I remember Logan trying to DM us and like coach us to open the fucking door.
That was
Like,
great.
guys, it's a door! Open the door!
Guys, we can't open the door.
Oh my God. Okay, so I
Alright, sorry,
cannot
Jason.
find this clip.
I forgot to put the timer on, but I think you're good now.
That's probably good.
Okay.
I cannot find something to use as the trunk of this tree. It's just driving me crazy.
Okay, so I can't find the clip. But going back to what you were saying about never
Never
give
meet your
experience
heroes.
for anything except killing. Like players only get experience from killing. Like the whole your mentality should be like getting kills. Getting experience from kills makes no sense. Like if you think about in the universe, okay, like you kill something, you gain experience, you get stronger, right?
Yeah.
So why do wizards study anything? You go to Hogwarts, and you'll go, I'm ready to study. They're like, no, put your books away. Fuck that. Come out to the caves. We're gonna go kill goblins because we gain experience from doing that.
Have you ever stabbed a man?
Like, there would be no reason for somebody to pursue higher learning because you could just gain experience from just killing goblins.
Yeah,
You would get
100%.
stronger.
Yep.
I feel like people need to take experience a little more literally. It's literally like
It's experience. Yeah.
It's literally getting experience.
It's what it says it is.
Yeah.
It's not.
Wait.
It's not like fucking Undertale where it's execution points or whatever the hell they call it. Okay.
Execution points and level of violence.
Quick opinion time. How do these look for the tree trunk? This is the best one I've seen so far.
Those look good.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Yeah. I'll doll it up a bit to make it look nicer, but
It's
what-
close enough.
What would you do?
Can you not?
If-
you can't import your own assets.
I could, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
Wow, you're not even making original art.
Well, I mean,
What
What?
the one note that I would make is probably less roots is better.
What? Why?
Well, because trees usually have not a huge
It's a fantasy tree.
Exploded.
when you look when I think of like a top down of a tree, I think of it having like
More roots, got it.
a small handful of roots rather than like a ton.
What if this person built this house on Yggdrasil?
That's right, Jason. You didn't think of that, did you?
You don't
What
know
if,
that it's not Yggdrasil, the world tree.
Like,
I mean, it is a fantasy. I don't know, man.
Look at the stump in the middle. Look at the stump in the middle
Yeah.
versus like the vine thing that he had before. Like, I don't
Hey
know.
Rob, if Joel sent you a screenshot of the tree, how hard would it be for you to quickly sketch a couple of roots around?
I'm not fucking importing custom assets for this.
He has Rob hired to make him custom assets on the fly. No,
I mean, I'd pay Rob for that.
No payment. Yeah, that's right.
I'd bully him into doing it for free.
Is like absurdly difficult for the scale.
Okay,
that is what
Astral-
artists say. Roots are like hands.
Astral likes it, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah, no, it looks fine. It looks fine. I was just saying less is more, maybe.
No.
So more is more.
Less is
got it.
less is more.
Spiky
Maybe.
house.
Rob's sense of aesthetics is just like, no.
More is
Lots of roots is cool.
Literally more
looks
is
all,
more.
Like gnarled. It looks like he grew it out himself. Like he's a druid. He probably sat down there being like, all right, I don't want my house to fall down because I'm building all this shit in it. We're gonna like accentuate these roots. They're gonna dig into everything. They're gonna run deep.
The
Alright,
house will
well,
be
that's-
begirt with roots.
If you want your hedge house, then all right. I've been overruled.
Again,
Razor
Droops.
downs.
Hey, thanks Astral for the sub.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
dollars.
Oh, you got the double deal. You're the fucking follow and the sub. For that.
Dude,
That's awesome. Thanks, man.
what a guy. What a min.
Well, actually, we can't assume he's a guy.
an absolute min.
I don't know.
That guy has become
What a person. Well, I mean, yeah, I can't really say what a guy, and I get it, right? Like, it's like, you know, they might not be. It's a good chance they're not a guy. Astral,
Well,
in this case, Astral is a guy.
What an amorphous being.
Exactly. At least I think I am.
I feel like a lot of those terms are pretty gender neutral at this point. Like even dude is pretty gender neutral.
There are people who get upset with that. I mean, it's not really a topic I super want to get into on the stream, obviously.
I kind of agree.
But yeah, no, it's you know.
Even though identity stuff could come up a little bit with the Tasha's Cauldron thing I mentioned.
Oh yeah, and I can't wait to get into that. Not the
Talk
identity stuff,
about
but
racial traits.
okay, let me tell you.
No.
I'm gonna add some more roots because I know it's gonna bug Jason.
Roots.
Let's get to the root of the issue, and don't worry about these ones. I'm gonna fucking fix them.
Roots.
You do whatever you want. I mean, if you want your fucking derp ass tree house to be derp, then it's your
No, it's good.
prerogative, man.
Okay, looks very
Fuck
good.
what garbage! Why'd you do it?
Wow. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, it looks good. It looks good. I think that it looks fine.
Where did we finish our train of thought? I actually don't remember.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Huh? Who are you?
Ooh.
What year is this?
Do you guys want to do
Oh.
a quick 10-minute break here?
No, not allowed.
I need
gotta
to
spindle my
Oh, no,
bindle.
you mother.
I need to grab a beer. We don't need to do like a 10-minute. We can just like do like a. I just need to grab. I just
steal a chicken strip.
a chimkin. I just need to grab a beer. Is that okay?
No.
I'll be right back.
I said no.
Keep talking.
What
Keep
the
talking
fuck?
and nobody explodes.
My fucking cat just like jumped up and like stood up beside me, reached his paw over and started to drag a chicken strip towards him, like a big one, like over towards him. I almost fucking got it.
Fucking cat.
Beer and chimkin strips. Oh yeah. Okay.
I could go for chimkin strips.
I
so
just
bad.
had a Vietnamese chimkin.
Oh my god.
So good. So good. It was worth the excruciating like annoyance of trying to find a parking spot downtown and being cucked at every single fucking restaurant.
Makes sense.
All right, let's add some more
There's
roots
plenty of
here.
room.
What's that?
Oh.
Yeah, just come on down. That'll be space for you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, somebody subscribed. Thanks, Astral.
Space for
Yeah.
your suffering.
Yeah. Astral subscribed.
What a guy.
What a guy. We have confirmed Astral is a guy. At least he thinks he is.
It's not really all that matters.
Oh, no. Yeah, it is.
It is. Self, something.
Alright, well.
Fucking. And with those words, okay.
Here's a good one.
Okay.
New DM question. One of my players keeps killing NPCs for no reason. What should I do?
Oh, dude, I commented on that.
Oh, did you?
I literally commented on that. Yeah.
Okay.
What did I say? I had two sort of things I said. Okay, this is actually a really good one. So I assume they're the player they're talking about is a murder hobo. Murder hoboing is interesting. Because it sucks. I have a beer. Oh, are you saying bears or beers? Bears.
Duh, bears.
Duh, bears. What I basically commented was, because people were saying like, oh, have, real world consequences if they kill people and send the guards after them or give bounties on them. And I'm like, okay, well, you can do that. However, you need to kind of decide, you need to figure out a couple things. A, is them murdering every single NPC they come across, is it bothering the rest of the group, the rest of the party? If the answer is yes, then you probably just need to talk to the person and be like, hey, other people are getting upset about this, can you stop? If the answer is no, they think it's, hilarious and they're willing, and as well as the DM, because let's not for the DM should also be enjoying themselves. If they're all okay with it, then you could possibly add in some, real world interactions that end up, sending some guards after them, and that becomes part of the story. It's not personally the kind of campaign I would want to run, but that's not to say it can't be done. However, if if nobody's having fun, the other players hate it, you need to talk to the person, right? Like, if the other players playing are having their RP and their fun stepped on, so that this person can basically, do whatever they're doing, it's not okay, right? Because it's just not. It's how it is. Especially, and like as well as the DM, right? Like I know for a fact that the DM puts in a lot of work to get things going. It takes a long time.
Don't lie.
Joel just goes to D&D campaign generator instant.biz
.truth.
and .XXX, and then he picks the generate campaign button, and then it just does the whole thing.
Instant campaign .gun.
Generate session. And he just clicks that button a couple times, and
oh shit! Look at this! Look at this fucking little! Look at this! Look at this garbage! Look at this garbage quality shit right here.
I fucking warned you. You didn't listen,
to...
and in your hubris, look at what's happened.
I know. I offered you Rob's.
It's pronounced hubris.
Turned me down.
Ooh.
In your hubris.
FungeonMaster.XXX is actually available.
Hubris. Well,
I'm calling my thing FungeonMaster.XXX.
Now I know what we must do.
I don't have a good answer for that.
I think that's that's a really good thing to go into. Like I think that the most important thing when it comes to playing D&D is playing with people, like-minded people that want the same experience out of playing D&D that you do. So like if like Joel said, like in the my players are just killing people and that's what's happening.
I think it was one player. I think that was the
okay. If one player is if one player is killing everybody, like how is the rest of the party reacting? Like how like you said, like well, what's the context and the group dynamic? Like if people are finding it amusing and it's all in good fun and everybody's having a good time, then that's fine. You can like you said, play off of that. But if it's the other way around where you have the one murder hobo in a group of players who are trying to seriously RP and get invested in the world and are more interested in like the role playing and character building and that side of stuff, then that clashes really hard Like,
Yeah.
and
It's
that,
not even just being serious about, like, super serious about RP. It's just wanting to enjoy the world.
yes, yeah, no, and but that is another element of that, is like how seriously are your players taking it? Like, how serious do they want to be when taking this different stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
our
Oh my
our our
gosh.
our group is fairly lighthearted, and we usually are more having fun than not. Why is there grass in the ocean?
I didn't get to. Well, okay, so you guys are lighthearted, but you do treat the events like so the campaigns I run are usually there's a serious undertone. Like the main thing that's happening, it's like, oh shit, like demons are invading. Like this isn't like, oh, they're clowns. Like they're demons.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you guys fail, everyone dies.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
but the
go
events
ahead.
that happen, you guys are like, you know, you like the individual events that happen don't need to be serious all the time. At least in mine. That's
Well,
not
yeah.
my style.
So much of this comes down to, can you find the right people to play with?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah,
Astral
100%.
Canine in the chat had a murder hobo in one of my groups, and he was arrested. I had a ton of RP set up for it, including a corrupt politician to get him out. Wow, it's like quite a lot of setup. But he lost it and rage quit because he didn't think he should be arrested, even though he murdered in the middle of the street of Waterdeep.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, yeah, because that's the guy, right? Like, that's what you run into. Like, they, you know,
he's not the right guy for the job.
They're not
Like,
they might not be even there to like play the game. Really, they might just be there to troll. Seriously, and it sucks.
So what that guy wanted, like based on that text that Astral said, was that guy, the murder hobo, was literally wanting to just murder with no
With impunity.
repercussions.
Or some people,
yeah.
what they like to do is they like to test the DM and see basically how far can I go, how far can I push until the DM like loses it or like it runs out of material. And I don't know why people do that. It's fucking weird, but some people do that and they subconsciously do it. And it's a weird one.
I
feel
actually
like it's an extension of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think we're gonna say the same thing. It's an extension. I wasn't gonna say extension, but it just boils down to the classic like class clown or kid in class who just, no matter what the teacher says, no matter what point of authority does or says, they're always going to go against that point of authority.
Yeah.
You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I want, and I'm going to just act like an absolute shithead and spit in the face of authority. And
I wasn't gonna say that, but I absolutely agree. But I think it's also an extension of that player versus DM mentality.
Yes.
But the problem is that actually extends out of character, right? When you're trying to mess with the DM to like see like how much material you had, like, or like, you know, whether or not I can destroy your campaign because it seems like a fun thing to do. Like that's player versus DM out of character. Like that's not good.
No, it's
That's not a person you want to be playing with. Like I can't think of a worse kind of person to want to play with.
I know. Yeah, it's
I'm not saying Astral, like your person is that. It sounds like they've got their own issues, but the particular person who is really just trying to like get a rise out of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
It's been a game of chance with gather groups on Roll20. I've had some great ones, and you know, I thought
not surprising.
I thought about trying some of those, but like that's the thing is like for me like this. No, I like this. Okay, that's fun. For me, like D&D is like a very like emotional game.
Sexual.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
the most sexual experience you can ever have.
Yeah.
Kind of sexual
What was I
experience
fucking
will never
saying?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You are not sorry.
No, you're not. You'll do it again.
Regards to playing with randoms and people you don't know.
Logan.
You wanted to try gather groups, but
like I'm just so worried of that happening, and also now I don't have fucking time. When you're a DM, like you just don't have time. And now that I'm doing a DM live streaming and DMing, I really don't have any time. But I get my kicks with these guys. I get my jimmies.
That would be so weird to just like join a random group. Like like I don't like even have like a desire to do that. Like, why would I want to play with people I don't know and I have no rapport with, and like.
Well, I mean, like some people
about.
don't have a choice. Like sometimes there's like literally like all of your friends are like, nah, I don't really want to do that, or they're the player that we were just talking about. Like, because I played with some people who are genuinely good people, but then when they play D&D, they become like, it's like deep seated inside of them. They're this horrendous person. You're like, what is happening? Who are you?
Or like somebody you think is, well, I don't know, I'm not gonna name names, but
exactly,
we've played with people that they take an absurdly unreasonable long time to do their turn, and you just don't know why.
Yeah, and
you can't fix it.
And it frustrates everyone because it's like, okay, like this, like there's only so long you can hold your attention for. I consider myself a person who, like can hold my attention for something for a while. Like I do stay focused, like sometimes hyper focused on things. But even then, like sometimes I'm looking at my phone, like, all right, when's this going to be over? Like it's reaching the 30-minute mark, and all you're going to do is cast Fireball. Come on,
like literally,
like literally 30 minutes.
Like that is probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but not very much.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No, Rob, no.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob.
I stand by what I said.
Oh, sadly, that's how I have to do it. The people introduced me to D&D have had families, and I don't have time for it anymore. Yeah, I mean, like it's unfortunate, and like honestly, I wish I had time to. I wish I had 48 hours in the day, and I could do the live stream, and then like basically run campaigns for all the people in the Discord, but I simply do not have time to do everything.
I really wished and thought you were gonna say, I wish I had no family, so I'd have like you say, you'd have more time.
I like how this turned out. Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Let me save 456 changes. Yeah, let's
Why is it glowing green now? I walked away for 2 seconds and you ruined it.
It's power levels.
Wait, you aren't an on-call DM 24/7? Hey, Radar, how's it going?
Radar, what's going on, man? Welcome to our podcast. Welcome to episode 1 of the FungeCast.
The FungeCast.
Cast Gen.
Oh, this is our first time trying to do this like podcast style. You know what? I'm liking it so far. It's pretty fun. There's so many things to talk about. I barely hit like any of these topics that I prepared, which is awesome.
I'm just scrolling through.
Well, all you have to do is
D&D subreddits.
All you have to do is fucking go to Reddit, like a D&D Reddit, and read something in like a slightly scathing voice, and be like, all right, guys, have at it.
Go for it.
What do you do when my GM does this?
What a surprise. 5 guys who play D&D fairly regularly and enjoy it quite a bit have a ton of things to talk about when just thrown.
Well, we're also like super intelligent and sexy men, so
high IQs.
Oh yeah. I am nothing but the highest IQ rock ever.
So okay, here's a question. Here's a question for you. I guess specifically to Joel, but anybody who or wait, hold before I go in. Why do demons have poison immunity? They saw that on a D&D subreddit. Why do they poison immunity? They're demons. They're probably immune to a bunch of shit.
Their blood is poison.
Yeah, like
obviously.
Next question.
Why are some enemies different? And have like different defenses.
Call him out.
What?
Like
what? Wow. Fungeon.
The answer is come up with an in-character reason. Their blood is poison. Done.
Yeah, yeah.
How come when they bleed on me, I don't die? You do now.
You do exactly. Yep. You want consistency? All right, bud. Here we go.
They have poison immunity because the little box of text next to where it has immunities : has poison written in it.
They are immune to colons.
No. So my question was, to Joel or anybody else that has DM'd or anybody.
That's me.
So yeah, that's you. I was watching something a long time ago, just this old YouTuber and video maker, who he would sometimes just do like D&D blogs where he would just like talk about like an old like a hilarious thing that happened in his game, or like he'd have a bunch of stuff to talk about. Anyways, so one of them was it was either him or he knew a guy that in every D&D game they would play, they would always do this one trick that DMs hate. He would like specifically when they would go to the session, the guy would in character, like to the DM, say, okay, I buy like a burlap sack and like a pane of glass, and then he crushes the glass in the bag, so he has a bag of powdered glass. And then what he would do in combat,
I remember you telling me this,
is he would like just like throw the bag or like empty the bag in like an NPC's face or like an enemy's face, like from point blank.
Yeah.
Oh, the old crush glass technique.
Yeah, and then like they would see like, okay, how would the DM deal with that? Because if you think about it, in reality, that is like a life-altering, horrible thing to do to somebody. Like powdered glass in your eyes is like,
yeah,
it's pretty bad.
Yeah, like that's so bad. That would be so damaging. But then like in terms of D&D, what does it look? You know, there'd be like a dex save and then like, you know, a D4 of damage. You're like, you know, or like blind. I don't know. Like, what would you do if I did that?
65 D4.
I would do probably.
It'd be a okay. So
probably a dex save, 2d4 damage, and then 1d4 minus 1 rounds of blinded.
Yeah.
With a minimum of 1 round, obviously.
69 D4s,
69 D4. 69 D4 20s.
Talk to me tomorrow. Can you close the door? Kara hasn't eaten yet.
Joel's starving his dog.
That's what I heard.
Let that be on record. But yeah, and then
69
imagine,
D4.
Maybe the player would be like, well, in real life that would be like pretty devastating.
In
well,
real life,
this is not real life.
All you die.
Okay, so I actually was gonna say something about that. Okay, so
no,
I mean, yeah, for damage wise, I don't know if it'd be like a devastating damage, but it would definitely be like some sort of blindness.
Yeah.
Like, and so it all depends on how you use that. If I'm using that against a player, like I wouldn't go up to a player character and do that because now they're blind for the rest of the game. Which is not really fun.
No.
Or not, maybe it is fun. Haven't done it. Oh, that looks better.
So my character would just never be able to see the battle maps. I would just only know collisions.
Exactly.
And that'd be the only one that I could see on the map.
Yeah, I would give you a separate map that's like, you know, hyper different.
Shiggy now exclusively navigates the world through echolocation.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh my god, that's funny. Ooh, I wanted to do a poll one. Can one of you guys, one of the mods, can you guys set up a poll? Or yes, I do want to. Oh my god, yes.
Can we do that?
I want to be famous.
Can we become famous?
Be famous. Ooh.
Can one of you guys ban that? Perfect. And not radar. Don't ban radar, please. And then you guys can set up a poll, and I want to try and see like favorite class of like 5th edition, what people come up with. That's something that I think we can get a little bit of chat out of.
Fucking do a poll.
I'm
in mod view.
Yeah, there should be manage poll.
Ban under radar. Don't make me do it.
I really haven't played that much 5th edition, to be honest. Like, what characters have I played? Like, I played like
poll. Oh.
Type /poll maybe.
I got it.
Okay, what am I doing here?
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, what's the poll?
I mean just like favorite class 5e, and then just you know, type in the classes. It's gonna take you some time to like type them all in, but you know,
okay,
do it.
Yeah, I've Pastoral. I've definitely wanted to play Druid. I feel like the problem with Druid to me is like the obvious choice of the Moon Druid like is the least interesting type of Druid to me.
Yeah.
There aren't enough spots to do the poll.
Oh really?
There's only 5.
There's only 5 spots? Oh man. Oh shit. Well, that changes everything, because Pathfinder words certainly won't fit.
Well, I mean, everybody in chat, just say your favorite class.
Yeah, I guess so. Just
everybody share it, bro.
You could use straw poll, or I mean, there's only 10 people watching. I think just saying favorite class.
Yeah, just say it in the chat.
Just
fine.
throw it in the chat.
Just say it.
Favorite class.
I've enjoyed Wizard a lot so far with Merrick.
Yeah, Wizard's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think my favorite was Witch. Or no, that's not 5e.
I mean, yeah.
I guess in 5e, I don't know. Everything I've tried, I've liked. I don't think I have a favorite. Like, I think they've all been good.
I definitely struggle to say what my favorite class in 5e would be. I think there's a couple classes that aren't part of the standard stuff. They're I don't know what book it's a part of, but like Artificer or whatever the hell it's called.
Artificer.
I would be no fisting sisters. I would be interested in trying that, because that sounds like right up my alley, because they basically get to you can play them in a few ways, but I think they like make stuff, don't they? Like, isn't that the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what Alf was, right? He was a special type of artificer. I don't like this path I'm making right now.
Artificer birds.
Artificer literally just means a craftsperson or a skilled worker.
Yeah.
One that constructs something.
What was he? He was like a artillerist. That's what he was. Yeah, so his thing was all about the Chad.
Bitch.
Okay.
I know it.
What do we got here? Variant human druid, circle of wildfire. I love variant human, man. Magic initiative wizard.
Man.
Oh my god. Circle of spores. Jeez.
We should talk about the variant human thing. What did they change in Tasha's? I don't.
Oh
like,
yeah, let's talk about that.
What was that thing?
I don't like the idea of variant human. It's too good.
What they've basically done is they've taken away the idea that races have specific modifiers and made it so that all the races are kind of homogenized, and you get those modifiers out of your backstory.
Oh.
So if you want to play an orc who's a super smart guy, it's like lineage and backstory.
Okay.
They developed a system around it that I don't know much
but
about.
But is this separate from background? Because like background gives you a bunch of gear and stuff, right?
Sorry, what book is this from?
Tasha's Cauldron.
Is that an official thing, or is it third party?
It's official.
Official.
Because that's genuinely one of my least favorite things in virtually any RPG system, is having just, because what I want mechanically almost never lines up with the fantasy of what I want. Like, I like playing my birds, I like doing stuff like that, but like in fifth edition, for example, like the mechanically correct choice 99% of the time is variant human, because they start with a feat.
Yes.
I hate that.
And that sucks. Like, that sucks, because I don't want to be a human. I play a human in real life. Why the hell am I going to do it in my fantasy spare time? Like,
I personally would lean towards something like you'd have to give humans something else that they're good at, and then I would like it if maybe everyone starts with a feat, because I feel like feats are a thing that adds so much variability to characters that logging it behind the most boring race is just lame to me.
How dare you make fun of my race?
I mean, you could, yeah. Like, I mean, it's almost like it's begging for a home rule to be like, okay, well, because starting with a feat is so good and it makes you be able to customize your character even more, like, why not just everybody has one?
I think,
and then if you really want to be very human, you get two. I don't know.
That would probably be overkill, because like feats are so good,
and
it wouldn't really solve the problem. But
yeah, it's like, then why wouldn't it just be a very human?
Yeah, no,
everybody gets two, but if you're very human, you get three.
Yeah,
I would genuinely, like, everybody gets a feat, and then variant human gets some other bonus of some kind.
They probably already do.
Well, I mean, like, just to replace the fact that they're not starting with the feat, essentially, because everybody's getting the feat.
Let's talk about bird characters.
How terrible they're.
Yeah.
I think characters like bird characters, or dwarves and just any character that like has a racial that makes sense that they have. I think that that's the one place where it kind of gets a little messy for my like. I just want to be able to visually be whatever I want, and mechanically be able to do whatever I want, because like it's a hard sell to say, okay, you have all of these things, and like, okay, there's a bird race and they can fly, or you know,
we experienced that Astral in every campaign.
Yeah, I think Astral. We need to address that.
Here's what I think it boils down to: the player of the bird needs to understand that, okay, I have an incredibly busted ability that makes a lot of things trivial.
Yes.
A lot of things.
They can't abuse the shit out of it, because the trouble is, and I was chatting with Joel, I think it was, maybe I was chatting with a bunch of people about this.
It was me.
From the DM's perspective, like, what does a DM do about that? No, I mean, because I think that the good thing about yourself, Jason, is you really don't abuse that.
Yeah, I think what
he really doesn't. Yeah.
Basically, what I would say at that point is like, does the player abuse it?
Yeah.
Right.
Still, it's like, what do they do about it if they abuse it? It's like, as a DM, it's like, okay, I could send flying enemies at you, but like, is that fun?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that comes down
that
comes down to player versus DM again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is now you're like, okay, well.
Well, I think
I don't know if I agree with that as a complete faux pas, though. Like, I think it's okay if you're gonna choose something powerful, but like, I don't know about that. I don't know.
To me, it boils down to are the player and the DM on the same page? Like, for example, there are places where I do, like, you know, you'll give us a puzzle that has to be traversed by everybody else in a way that, like, they have to jump across a chasm, and 9 times out of 10, like, I fly across. I can just fly across. I'm playing a bird, I fly across. But, you know, I'll use that as, like, okay, this is another element, another tool that we have to solve this puzzle of how do we get everybody across the thing or whatever, right? And you know, like, it's like flying can be so incredibly broken, especially in combat, because, you know, I can just say, especially as, you know, like Flash is a ranger, I could just, every single time we enter combat and we're not in a closed space, I can just be like, I fly 400 feet up into the air and I rain arrows down upon everybody. And everybody has a sword, and, you know, like, what the fuck are they gonna do? And that would then become a huge problem, and I'm pretty sure Joel would instantly be like, all right, you can't be birds anymore.
Yeah, and that's the trouble. It's like, you get 400 feet in the air. It's like, okay, what options does the DM have? It's like, I can either tell you not to be a bird, or I can cast sleep on you and you die instantly. It's like, okay, that's not. Those aren't options.
Neither of these are ideal.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, it to me, that kind of thing kind of comes down to something I was going to say earlier in relation to, like, playing with people that are all like-minded and stuff, or having, like, those players that are just, like, doing the hard, like, DM versus, like, players stuff, like, just going out of their way to be a nuisance. And that is that when it comes to D&D, there's this unspoken thing where, like, everybody needs to work together to make sure everybody's having fun. And so, like, it's not fun for anybody, especially not Joel, and potentially my fellow players.
My fellow Americans?
My fellow Americans are not...
You can't say that without me saying that.
Not going to have fun if I fly 200 feet in the air and rain down upon the landscape arrows.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not going to happen, right? So, you know, as part of that agreement of we're all trying to have fun, and the fact that, you know, like, when I play these kinds of games, I'm kind of the opposite of Mitch, in the sense that Mitch really enjoys his, like, optimization and min-maxing and just kind of squeezing every bit of, like, advantage out of everything that he possibly can. So we've actually discussed this, and he 100% could not play a bird character because he would be he couldn't not fly into the air.
But the closest I can get is a Thwargo. I can climb stuff.
Yeah, even that I've got to figure out a way to fucking
For how long though?
More bees.
That's the thing, and I'm
Wasp
down.
one wasp was
Dude,
devastating.
the wasp almost fucking killed me. I am all
know,
about that.
right?
I don't mind. Come at me,
And-
bro. I don't mind.
And to be clear, there is not a single thing wrong with approaching the game from that standpoint, especially when Mitch is aware of the fact that that's how he plays the game, so he's not going to let himself play a bird, so he's going to be able to just completely break everything. But for
I have no self-control. If I was a bird, it'd be a problem.
Has redeemed
Whereas-
spawn nonsense. Yep.
whereas on my side on me being the opposite, I play specifically for the class fantasy, and I enjoy trying to get really silly shit to work. So in the last Pathfinder thing that we played, I was a paladin crossed with a gunslinger, and my whole thing was I wanted to be a paladin who ran around with a big fucking musket.
I wanted that build to work for you so bad.
It kind of did, because I was untouchable in the terms of I was tanky as
That's
fucking
true.
shit. And if I ever crit, I did a fucking ton of damage.
Yeah.
The problem was that most of the time I didn't crit, and I didn't do a ton of damage outside of that. And, there are things that I could probably have optimized better. Like, I feel like I min-maxed my defenses to a T, like, really hard.
Oh yeah, I couldn't hit you.
But,
Didn't you have like 31 AC or something?
Yeah.
It was 32.
32.
Well,
30.
AC and Pathfinder is ridiculous, right? Like it's
Yeah, I had like just an absurd amount of AC. I was
Pathfinder has
wearing
no diminishing returns. It's never heard of it.
yeah,
It has accelerating curves. That's all.
yeah.
I mean, that's
and
kind of
it-
like why I like 5e is because like
Yeah.
sometimes Pathfinder it just gets like
it gets silly.
it gets silly. There's like too much. I'm gonna extend this land out just a touch here.
But like
That'll be
even
our little
though-
secret.
You tell
even
anybody.
I will cut you. Even though this was another iteration of Shiggy, unsurprisingly, and even though he wasn't like an offensive powerhouse, like he was a charisma powerhouse and he was a defensive powerhouse, and like even though I wasn't doing tons of damage or being like the most useful person ever in combat, I enjoyed the crap out of the character specifically because I enjoyed that class fantasy, that fantasy of being, a paladin who ran around busting caps and bitches' asses, shoot first, ask questions later, So anyway, I started blasting mode. And like that's just how I enjoy stuff. So I'm more than willing to say, all right, well, it will be ridiculous if I fly around the sky for everything. I'll just, have it so flying is essentially my movement, because bird races tend to have a really low movement speed, but they have like a high flight speed.
Yeah, exactly. They have like 25 walking speed, most of them.
Yep, 20 to 25 is the range that most Aarakocran races or bird-like races have, and then they'll have a fly speed of 50, which, I mean, 50 is a huge amount of movement to have, but, it's a little better than fucking flying around 300 feet in the air.
That's true.
And, like, their other racials aren't that great at all, so, I mean...
No.
It's so it all at the end of the day, when it's like, okay, well, do you allow flying? Do you allow this, that? It's so much of it depends on like with everything in D&D, it depends on what kind of group you have.
Yeah, can you trust your players to not be shits?
Why are they choosing this character? Do they want what Jason wants? Do they just want to like play an interesting character and it happens to have fly, but they're not trying to abuse it. They're just like, I want a bird character. That's what I want to play as. Like, this is,
I'm a bird.
This is my fantasy.
Yeah.
And
then you have players like Mitch who are like, if I have a bird, I cannot help myself. I will abuse it. So they don't play a bird. Because they know that if he does that, then I kind of am forced to be like, okay, well, I have to get a bigger gun to fight the gun. And
turns into an arm race.
It's the same problem with like a single character in Pathfinder that like becomes too powerful, where it's like, okay, I need to challenge you without insta-gibbing the rest of the party.
Well, that's okay. So that is a critique I have of Pathfinder.
Totally.
And I might be wrong about this, but from what I've seen, because I haven't played, like, I'm not a Pathfinder expert, but I played I played a full campaign, a campaign and a half
level
of
12.
a campaign and a half of Pathfinder. Pathfinder lends well to people who really like the numbers.
Yeah.
And if like it lends well to min-maxers, and I don't want to say that in like a derogatory way because there's nothing wrong with min-maxing, but like if you love numbers and you love, you know, trying to make a really good character and love like, okay, how can I make this character work? Pathfinder is great for that, and there's tons of like niche characters. However, if one of the people in the group is like not so much into that, and they're just like, I'm just playing to have fun, their character is going to be probably not as good as the other characters by a large margin.
I think the word would probably be ineffective.
Ineffective.
Yeah, like
Because of how, and we saw it, like, and I'm not saying that Chris didn't care about his character, but we saw like Horik couldn't hit anything.
Yeah, Horik was fairly underpowered.
Yeah, and he was built for like a specific, like he was an Inquisitor,
specific
right?
type of campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just like
We just like weren't at the stage as players where we could facilitate a heavy intrigue campaign.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I was still a new DM. I mean, technically, I guess I still am because there's people who've been DMing for a long time. How does that look for that shore? I kind of like the smoother shore. What do you guys think?
I think it looks good.
I think that looks good.
Wow, Jason thinks it looks good. Damn.
Wow, Jason usually hates everything.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
It's true.
You saved it. Can you undo it?
That's why I play birds. So I can fly into the sky and rain down hate from above.
I think I can still undo. Oh my god, it's so warm in here. One of my points here was, do you ever think there's going to be a 6th edition of D&D, and what would you hope to see in it? Oh, let's see what Astral. Let's address Astral here. So the Kenku, excuse me, Kenku can only communicate through mimicry. You mimic sounds you've heard, including voices, but you can speak only by using your mimicry trait. Does this excite or deter you from this race?
This is actually another thing we talked about the other day. That
It's
is
true.
an extremely difficult trait to play.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
very difficult.
But
it would be an
also,
interesting challenge.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
As a player, you would have to own that.
100%.
Yeah,
Like,
that's something that like I would be super hesitant to make a Kenku specifically because of that, because it is like, if done right, that is insane. Would be just such a cool character to have and play and just be a part of a story. But I feel like it's something where it's not that kind of like, it would mostly be on the player playing it, but that it wouldn't only fall on the player playing it. You would also have to have a DM that would be willing to give you the tools to play that effectively.
Well, not
Yes.
only that, it's a big
100%.
imposition on your party because they can't communicate with you unless they feed you vocabulary.
yeah, it's
So,
like, yeah.
It's pretty.
Everybody needs to be like 100% like paying attention and into it. It's
Yeah,
like, okay,
and-
I liken it to, and this is another topic altogether, but like playing evil characters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's something that like, it can be done. It's very
Yeah.
difficult, and it can be hard on the rest of the party, but it can be done. And it's kind of something that like you guys like. I would almost say that in session 0 you would have to talk about it and be like, hey, my character's going to be evil, like how are we going to rule this, how is this going to work, like, because you can have moments where like it could be a really cool dynamic where it's a paladin, a lawful good paladin, and then the evil warlock, and they hate each other's guts, but like the paladin's like, all right, well, he keeps,
I will
like,
work together with you for the greater good.
yeah, he keeps saving them. However, it could very quickly devolve into PvP, which is
Yeah.
a whole nother can of worms.
See, the thing
Yeah.
is, like, I actually heard I just don't remember the name of it. It was another Matt Colville video. He does lots of really good stuff about this where he talks about his thoughts.
Yeah.
He had a player who played an evil character and just really didn't do anything with it. And he was talking about how there was sort of moments in the story where he really had opportunities. He was like alone with a character. He had like an opportunity to like do evil things and never took it. And the way Matthew was talking about it really sounded like he, as a DM or as a player, really wanted to see this person's evil character be evil in a
Right.
way that made sense. But to me, that you need such a, as with so many things with this, you need such a unique mentality for that particular style of play, because you need to be willing, you need to be in the mentality that your character is going to die, and you need to be okay with that, and you need to be deep within that mentality for an evil character to be functional within a party, because otherwise it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah.
That's on the far extreme, I would say. Like I mean, where is the far extreme? That is.
Oh, Mitch throwing out the real questions.
Well,
Yeah, let's talk about the far right.
No. The trouble is that it's not that it's necessarily extreme compared to other things we've been talking about, but it is, like so many things we're talking about, something that requires a drastic mentality shift from your party in order for it to be functional.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, unless of course you're doing like an all evil characters campaign.
Oh, and then no, then there's harmony.
But
Yeah,
exactly,
right.
I think that's the best word to describe it. Is like group harmony is so important, and it's one of the hardest things to achieve.
I genuinely think that the most important thing with D&D, like without question, so far above and away from everything else, is just group harmony.
Yeah.
Who you're playing with, group harmony.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, not just in what they do, but like what the expectations are too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like what does everybody? So there's two elements to that. Like, is everybody on the same page? For what they want to get out of the experience, and if they're not entirely on the same page, are they willing to respect allowing the players that want X, Y, or Z to get that, and then, you know, likewise, the players that they're playing with respect that they want certain things. Like, you know, like if you're not super into RP, you just want to throw dice at goblins, are you willing to just, you know, let the RP happen, you know, interact with it however minimally you may want to while it's going on when you have to, and then, you know, you can get to the fun part of you throwing dice at goblins. Like that, there's nothing wrong with that. That's going to be some groups, and that's perfectly fine. But if you can't respect that, you know, allowing people to get out of it what they want, that's when you run into issues, right?
Yep.
And I feel like a perfect example of that is like the first time I had Joel. Was that the first time? That was the first time most of us had Joel as a DM, I think.
Yeah.
Specifically.
The space one.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was the first time Mitch.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, we arrived at the receptionist.
We've come full circle.
We've come full circle.
So
Did we
Logan.
talk about the receptionist already today?
Not
No,
today.
we should save that for episode 2 of our podcast.
I don't know. I feel like it's such a good example of this that talking about it now makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, let's talk
yeah,
about it.
and-
Okay.
And so to set the stage for this is the first time that Joel had DM'd for
God damn it. Sorry.
myself, Mitch, and
Well,
Logan.
First time you had DM'd?
I don't believe so.
No.
Not the first time.
What is
Yeah.
happening?
Because Logan and him had
Oh,
played
that's right.
before,
Yes.
and
Zero
they
softness, bud. You're on zero softness.
I know.
I remember this because he was making references to the campaign that Logan was a part of, and it was Logan and 2 other of their friends, I think.
Yes.
Yep.
No. It was Logan, Eli, and Josh. There was 3 of us.
Yeah.
Or 3 of them, and then me. DMing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Like, as players, there was
Mhm.
Logan and 2 other guys.
Yeah.
With Joel, of course, DMing. And so, the party makeup, if I remember correctly, was myself. I came in a session late, but it was Mitch, Logan, myself, and then 2 of our friends, or at the time friends. And you know, like, Logan's a pretty chill guy. He's very like, he just
What you say about me?
You heard me, you fucking heard me, you little bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, these are palm
he's-
trees. Oops.
He's generally
Yeah, so
pretty.
What's going on with that?
Logan's a pretty like chill, adaptable guy. He seems to go with the flow, and that nothing wrong with that.
That's
at
why we
all.
call him Go with the Flogan.
Yeah, go with the Flogan. And Mitch and I wasn't super aware of this at the time, but it became very clear to me during this campaign that what we find fun about the game is interesting character interactions and approaching problems and solving them with a high degree of creativity, and the other two members of our group just wanted to throw dice at goblins. And
100%.
this clashed really, really hard because, you know, like in my mind, and I believe in Mitch's mind, and probably in Joel's mind, like the best session that we did of that campaign was one where Mitch and we were tasked with sneaking into this space station thing.
Yep.
And we needed to like hack. It was like a TV broadcasting space station thing. We needed to hack it and send out this message for this group that we belong to. And we managed to do this whole mission, Mitch and I, basically, by RPing through the whole thing. And Joel had created the scenario where, you know, things were going to go to shit and we were going to have to fight our way in and out.
We pretended we were students on a field trip.
Yeah.
Yes,
It was beautiful.
I was an aspiring journalist, and Mitch was my mentor, taking me on a field trip to the space station, and we just RP tanked the fuck out of the whole thing, and it was so much fun. And I think
was a good session.
that was an amazing session. Holy shit, that was so much fun. However, the two people who just wanted to throw dice at goblins didn't like that at all. They were bored, they didn't have anything to do, they didn't want to talk to anyone, they just wanted none of that. And so, unbeknownst to the three or four of us, they made a rule between the two of them that they would give, and because Mitch was more aggressive with his planning and trying to get every advantage that he could, because that's just how Mitch is.
Power gamer, if you will.
He needs to assert his dominance by planning every detail to the T.
I'm kidding.
No,
I mean, you're not.
I know what I am. I'm a monster.
No, I love it. Yeah, you're a monster.
See, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with this, right? Like, that is relatively true, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have nothing but respect for your dedication to being like that.
To ruining my plans.
And
Sorry.
We realized you can't help it, and we've all accepted it, Mitch.
You know what I mean? Like, I like it's just that's how you play the game. That's part of what you find fun in these kinds of games, and I respect the shit out of it.
Someone
because,
someone doesn't do it.
I do have an element of that, like, as well. Not nearly as far in that direction as you are, but I definitely have a lot of that in my own enjoyment. But because Mitch was, you know, spearheading a lot of that, like, planning, a lot of the stuff that they didn't enjoy and found boring, they made a rule where they would give Mitch 10 minutes to do Mitch, like, in quotes, Mitch things, and then they would just run in guns blazing. And so,
this was not discussed with anyone else.
This was I am on the side.
This was a rule that they kind of came up with between the two of them, and they didn't talk to, you know, any of the other players or the DM. So, you know, the next time it came up, if I remember the scenario correctly, we were doing a prison break kind of idea, and all of our stuff was like in a chest, as it is in these kinds of things.
Yes.
And Mitch was sneaking through and was going to grab our stuff, but he took longer than 10 real world minutes to get over there and get all of it. So they just went in and started blasting with weapons we'd picked up from a guard or something. And the whole thing just devolved into an absolute fucking shit show. And,
Fucking
you know,
died because of that.
Yeah, and it ended up getting Mitch's character, like, just straight killed.
Yeah.
And
Didn't it got all of us killed? Oh no.
No, that was a different. That was a little later.
That's a little later. We'll get to the receptionist.
Almost there.
We'll get to the receptionist. And you know, like, and to kind of set up the receptionist side of things, because the receptionist that we meme about quite a bit was part of the same campaign.
Yes.
And one of the two players that just wanted to throw dice at goblins, he was very much so. He wasn't as bad as some other players can be or some other people can be, but he was very much so, you know, the anti-authority, you know, trying really hard to make his character be like the ultimate badass. And he had never
like
played
RoboCop Judge Dredd.
Yeah, he was trying to be like RoboCop Dredd so bad. And if done right, there's nothing wrong with that. But he'd never played D&D before, and he just wasn't having respect for the content. And he would do
like the first session. The first session.
Oh, the coin toss.
For no reason, we're trying to save this guy so that he can smuggle us onto a rebel base who we ended up joining for some reason.
We should tell that story. And
yeah, that's a whole other situation.
Literally, I had said, so this was a guy you guys were supposed to ambush, and I had said multiple times, do not kill him. If he dies, that's your only lead. That's it.
You literally told us, hey, I am the DM. Do not kill this NPC.
I did it in a I did it from the point of your employer. I said, if he dies, you guys are going back to prison. There's this is your only chance out. So whatever you do, don't kill him. And go on.
Outside of Joel very specifically making it so we could not as players kill him, he made it as clear as could possibly be that we were not to kill this NPC.
And I thought that was I was like, yeah, that's the end of it. That's
that seems fair, right? It's look, you make it clear to your players, don't kill this guy. Yeah. I don't have a backup plan.
Well, it's more like the players don't have a backup plan. You're this is your only way out of prison. You can't.
Yeah. This is what's happening, and don't fuck it up.
It'd be it'd be like telling the players that's an Elder Red Dragon. You're level 3. Don't attack the Elder Red Dragon. And then they're like, oh wait, you didn't plan for us to do that?
I mean, if you didn't want us to attack him, why'd you put an Elder Dragon there?
Yeah, exactly.
It blinks and you're vaporized.
Yeah.
But anyway, continue explaining.
Oh sure. So we ambush this guy and take out his guards, and then we're supposed to convince him to smuggle us over to this pirate base.
I love those guards, by the way, the ones I made. I think it was Mute and someone. They were twins. One of them couldn't speak and one of them couldn't hear or something.
I forgot about those guys.
They're a twin, a female and a male.
Oh yeah.
They were mercenaries, Mute and something. God, I can't remember. It's
Mutant Butte.
Mutant Skeet.
I don't. I apologize, but I don't remember them at all.
That's okay. I don't remember them.
Anyways, so we defeat the guards, and we've got this one guy with a bullet wound in his leg, basically, or something, a bullet wound on his body, and we're starting to convince this guy to fairly easily. We're convincing this guy to let us continue the quest, basically, right? And for no fucking reason, this player decides, I don't even remember exactly what or why he decided it. He just decides that he's gonna flip a coin and decide whether or not he's gonna blast this guy and kill him.
Yeah, that was the thought process. He put his gun in his mouth, and you guys were like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Why?
And
I remember when he did that. Every other player, just over Mike was like, "No!"
I remember saying to him, out of character, "Why? What are you doing?"
Yeah, exactly. This. Yeah. It's not often that all the players will agree on something like that, and they're like, "What? No, what are you doing? Why?"
It's just stupid. Haha! Wow, look at me! I'm the troll.
Yeah, it basically boiled down to he needed to assert how badass he was, and how
we all like the other guy still, but this guy was just pushing it and loved to push it. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Somebody takes the receptions. I can't fucking deal with this anymore.
So a little backstory into that campaign. That was my first time. I was still relatively new DM. I was running a homebrew version that I had come up with of 5th edition to include space stuff. It was a space campaign. I made my own combat thing. I wrote my own rules for all this stuff. And you guys could upgrade your ship, and you got ship combat, and it was kind of a mix of FTL. I poured my heart and soul into it, made a fucking galaxy map and all these multiple planets you could go to. And
awesome.
Yeah. And then it was just
and the story was sick.
Yeah, I had this background, but it wasn't in your face. You guys. Okay, so getting to the big choice. you guys eventually convinced this merchant to the guy somebody was about to kill to bring you to the pirate base that you were taking out. And instead of killing the pirates, which was your mission, you guys
It was like level one, go clear out this dungeon.
Yeah. Instead of doing that,
dog.
instead of doing that, you guys were like, why don't we join the pirates?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did. And I was like, yeah, you're in the pirates now. And so all I did is a noun swap. I took all the main bad guys, and instead of it being, pirate captain Kane, I think Kane Iron Chest was the guy. Instead of him being the main bad guy, it was now the Felix Archimedes, the CEO of Hyperlight, was now the bad guy.
Yeah.
All I did was
I'm getting mad all over again.
and then you guys were like, did you plan this? And I was like, no.
Yeah, I remember that so clearly, that, and that's one of those key things where, let your players have fun and engage themselves in the world. Because we rolled in there, your intention was we were going to kill all these guys. It was the fucking starter dungeon, go throw dice at goblins, kill all the goblins, move on. And we joined the goblins, and you just were like, yeah, cool, this is a fun story beat. Let's fucking do it.
This is something that I wanted to mention a while back when we were talking about what do you do when the players go off course. Reskin.
Yeah.
Because you
Color
basically
palette change.
Yeah, just changed who the bad guys are, and suddenly we're with the rebels fighting the Empire, and it was awesome. It was seamless.
You're fighting blue tabards now.
It was so easy to do. I was actually stunned how easy it was for me to literally do it in like a complete swap. Like all the future content I had planned was basically the same. I just switched out the nouns.
Yeah.
That's all I did.
And it works perfectly.
And yeah, that's the beauty of it, is that like you adjusted to that, what is like on the surface level is such a huge narrative change. You adjusted to that so beautifully that if you had told me you had planned the whole thing and that was the intended outcome of that, I would have 100% believed you and not questioned a damn thing. I really wouldn't have. Because it worked so well and it was so cool. I agree 100% with Mitch. That whole setup and like the amount of work you put into that was amazing. And the sheer amount of work that you put into it and how well you had things like thought out and how well you adapted to stuff, that's what made the player who was being a problem so obnoxious, because he just, at the end of the day, he just did not respect the content, and he didn't respect how much effort and time Joel was putting into this, and he didn't make any attempt to play along and do that thing that I said earlier, where it's an agreement of let's all try and make everybody have a good time. He didn't subscribe to that in the slightest. That is looking really good. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say this looks awesome. Jesus, what happened?
And
haven't you been watching?
We gotta go back.
Yeah, rewind.
And to kind of
rewind time.
we're kind of jumping around because there's so much to unpack from that campaign, and I think that all of us learned just so fucking much about D&D and group dynamics and
at the end of the day, it was a good lesson.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
I do not regret that campaign, and I'd love to do another space campaign.
I mean, like, as much as most of the stuff that I enjoy is steeped in fantasy settings, I love sci-fi. Like, if I have a choice, I want to do sci-fi stuff over fantasy stuff 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
But just I feel we've been saying receptionist a lot. Let's get to it. Let me finish off the story.
2 hour long story.
Hopefully I don't jump around, or I guess we don't jump around too much more. Because again, there's
Chad. I want to formally apologize for our rambling, but
quit jumping around, Rob.
Sorry, guys.
Rob, the person who wasn't there.
I'll try to keep it together.
Yeah, you're up here, man. I need you down here.
This is the one thing that sort of saving grace to all of this is that if the receptionist
Thanks,
hadn't
Astro,
happened,
appreciate
then I never
that.
would have met
I never would have met Rob.
No, that's
Hooray!
true. That's
Oh,
true.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's true,
100%, 100%.
Rob was the ultimate swap-in.
As much as there was a
Jimmy.
lot of issues with that campaign and it ended on an incredibly sour note, I don't regret
That's an
it.
understatement.
I don't regret it in the slightest, and it did end up from that group became the group that we have now, and we've been playing with this group for what, like 6-7 years almost.
Like about 3 decades.
It's I mean, we're basically timeless at this point.
Yeah.
But to to finish the story,
I don't like that.
I'm gonna put a name to the character. The character's name was Rex, and Rex again, he just wasn't respecting content. He like for example, like we would go into a facility, and one of the factions was, or one of the big, like the antagonist faction was Hyperlight.
Yes.
And Hyperlight would have like their logo on the ground, and he would just pee on the logo, and he would do all sorts of stuff like that. That's just completely, just very clearly not having any respect for what's going on. And he would very frequently say that he does stuff, and then he would backpedal on it when asked, like, or when pressured into, like, are you doing that, are you not, like, and he would constantly do this. So eventually we got to this scenario where it was a prison break idea, and the plan was that we were going to masquerade as guards going into this, like, incredibly well guarded, heavily fortified prison with heavily armed guards fucking everywhere. We were going to go into this place masquerading as guards, escorting somebody into the prison, and we were going to break certain NPCs out of this prison.
Yeah,
and
you guys were breaking your crew out basically for your ship, so
Yeah.
you could get the fuck out of there.
Yes. I don't remember a ton of the very specific details super well, but yeah, we were doing something along the lines of that. And so the plan was that we were going to go in and you know, obviously you go into a place, there's the receptionist to check you in or whatever, and we start talking to her, and you know, things are going fine, and then Rex just shoots her.
Yeah.
He just pulls out his gun and blows her away. And I remember everybody just going silent, and Joel asking, do you actually do that? And he said yes. And you could just hear the collective unspoken sigh as Joel's like, all right, well, you know,
Roll for initiative.
that was kind of the final straw of, all right, enough of his shit.
Yeah, this campaign's over, basically.
Well, essentially, I think I told you guys after, or maybe before, I told you that I knew that, like, this was the test, and I knew that was likely going to happen.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, so, like, for better or worse, like, I've got to end this campaign because I'm sick of preparing. I was sick of preparing these, like, I prepare, like, these giant, like, open-ended rooms where I'm like, here's all the gears and gadgets, you guys, you know, it's a playground, you guys figure out how to get through. And I'd spend all this time designing basically multiple paths and all these different things, and then I'd be very open to you guys coming up with your own solutions. But then what would often happen is Rex would come in and start firing right away. So all of those things that I spent a lot of time planning, that I basically planned for like 3 players of the group, would get just like, there'd be no point in doing that. So I started making maps very bare bones based around just combat encounters, and I found I didn't enjoy that.
Yeah, and you know, like, I genuinely, like, I can't commend you enough for, like, the way that you approached, like, because when you tell fairly linear stories, like the overall plot of your campaigns tend to be like a bit on the linear side, and there's nothing wrong with that, because your maps and the gameplay that you present is not linear, where, you know, instead of it being a corridor,
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, that's an
really
absurdly
great.
good way to put it.
it's very much so. It's very much so. in the same vein as, say, like Deus Ex or your other immersive sim games, where, you know, there is a main story that you're going through and you do have options to do it, but every single map, even though, you know, we're going to end up on this map or this map, every single map is more or less a playground, and you provide a place and a way for us to be creative and express ourselves through the gameplay and through how we interact with stuff. And so it doesn't matter that where we end up is predetermined, because the journey there is very much so one that we've made ourselves, right? And we're so free to tackle the things that you present us in so many different ways, and like it's really impressive how well of a job even back then that you did that. And as a player who, you know, went through that as a player, having it always devolve into that shooting, just you fucking walk in and just start blasting at everyone, it sucked, because
It was such a letdown.
because as a player, I could see how much effort you were putting into making these, like, fucking, you were making Metal Gear Solid levels, you were making
He was making fucking Hitman, like,
Yeah.
Rube Goldberg machines, where you watch someone play Hitman, they just walk in with a pistol and shoot everybody, and it's just the most non-satisfying resolution to what's otherwise a really interesting level.
Yep, and like things would be set up so cool, and then like exactly that, the least interesting answer to the problem set before us was the one that we would always arrive at, because one of our members was just wanted to shoot things. And you know that's what ended up happening, is, you know, he shot the receptionist. And, you know, it's just like, all right, well, do you do that? And he's like, yep, no, I shoot the receptionist. And it's like, okay. And then the next I don't even know if it was 10 minutes, was more soldiers than could possibly be dealt with, flooding the room and killing us all, literally killing all of our players. And that was the end of the campaign.
Greater invisibility and blink, I got the fuck out of there.
Technically, my character did the same thing.
I think I gave you guys. I think I talked to you guys and said, you guys. I think I asked you if you wanted to survive, because I was basically trying to kill off, like, mainly that one character, but the two of them. And I think I messaged you guys and said, like, if you want, we can continue the story where you guys are alive, but barely.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, you guys were like, it was like there was like a sour taste. You're like,
Yeah, no, it was time to start fresh.
Yeah, and I was totally fine with that. Like, I was fine either way. It was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little sad I never got to finish that one, because I did have big plans.
Oh yeah, no.
That's what happens. You get campaigns you don't finish. It's part of DMing.
Yeah, I would imagine most campaigns that start don't end up finishing, and that's fine. But yeah, no, like I agree completely. Like it sucked to drop that, because the stuff that you had created deserved so much better than what ended up happening. Like, just straight up, it did. Like I was at the time, I was really impressed with the content that you gave us and how well you DM'd it, and that continues to now. Like, you did a lot of really, really cool stuff, and I look forward to the eventual one day where we revisit doing
what is happening?
Sci-fi stuff. Oh dear. Why is there a hand trying to grab me?
Like right here. Like, wait.
That's a really cool asset.
Wait, check this out. I'm just gonna fuck around here for a sec.
I know what you're doing. Can you mirror it?
Can you not make goatsy, please?
Oh, that's not what I was doing, but now I can't. Fucking. Now I can't. You are inside the house and you look outside and see two giant fucking hands on either side moving in towards you.
You realize you're in the world's butthole.
Oh my god.
But no, like
Stop.
But yeah, that's you know, the drawn out version of whenever we joke about the receptionist. That's why. It's because we had in the past had a player who essentially single-handedly ruined and ended.
Decided the campaign was over for everyone.
Yeah, and he just no remorse, just did it.
And like, to be clear, this person, I mean, you know, we can debate, but like, this person's no idiot. Like, he knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing. I don't think that's up for debate. Like, I can't imagine he would be oblivious to the outcome of what he was doing.
No, I think again, I can only imagine what was on his mind, but I think part of it was trying to figure out where my breaking point was as a DM, was like, how far can I push him and like see what he's prepared but do something different. But also he was kind of against you guys as well, which is, you know, double bad. But like it was, and that's like at that point, and like I see so many things on Reddit where people are like, oh, what do I do with this player? Like, you gotta have a talk with them, and if you can tell that they're not receptive to that talk, and they're like, no, I'm, you know, how dare you speak to me about my actions in game, then you kind of gotta cut them loose, right?
Are we still talking about okay, yeah, so
is there no like crack thing, like hole in the ground sort of?
Joel, crack is whack, man.
Yeah, well,
Can I just get a quick shout out to Business Daddy in the chat? Fucking that's a wonderful
It's
name.
like the name, yeah.
Business Daddy?
Big
Daddy.
ups to Business Daddy.
Where's Business Daddy? I didn't even see them.
Not in the chat, no, but like in the like he's one of the users watching.
He's just a user that's in.
Oh, you're calling out the people who haven't chatted? That's
calling out a lurker.
No,
Lurker.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, that is a fantastic name. That is a fantastic name.
Big shout out to Business Daddy.
Yeah. So yeah, I stepped away for like 5 minutes. So if we have covered this, I apologize. But relating to that talk we were just having, so part of I'm not gonna like just defend this person, but in their defense, it was their first time playing D&D.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They do not like D&D.
Yeah.
They knowingly came into this knowing that, you know, they are not going to enjoy this. Like, it is not in their wheelhouse in any way.
Then why did he do it then?
Because you know, hey, you know what? Again, in his defense, he gave it a shot. Now, that's
fair.
where the defense ends, because it just wasn't in his mind that, oh, Joel created this for us 5 or 4, however many it was. Like, that fact just wasn't there. Like, it wasn't even like considered, which is terrible because Joel puts a lot of effort into his shit.
That's the thing. I don't believe that.
I actually think it's somewhere in the middle. I think that he was.
Oh, this works. Look at that.
I think he didn't respect how much time and effort Joel put in it. Like, he didn't care. Like, he was aware that Joel was putting effort into it, but he didn't like have a respect for how much effort that would be, and didn't care about it.
To be fair, like, because you guys know me, but the chat may not. To be fair to myself, I don't ever demand respect from my
you
player.
earn it. You do. You earn the respect.
I've never said to you guys, to my knowledge,
Respect me.
I've never like been like are you, I don't know. I don't even know how I go about having that conversation with, like, you guys don't fucking respect me.
So
to my knowledge, I haven't done that, and if I have, I'm sorry. But
I don't think that it's something to be okay. You don't say it explicitly, but you behave in a way that you understand that you deserve respect because it's true.
Fucking
And
deserve
so
respect.
You don't
people deserve respect.
You very much so don't demand respect. You definitely earn respect.
Mm-hmm.
And more than anything, like, I've never seen you hold it against us as players if we don't respect a really cool idea that you had, or don't react to something that you had done. Like, there's a lot of people who, you know, the opposite of or maybe not the opposite, but to go along with the idea of the player getting pissed off when he's told that their actions are unacceptable, or they can't do this, or they get punished for their actions. There's the DM who will get upset when the players don't react to his content and enjoy it as much as he expects them to, or, you know, thinks that he deserves. You have never reacted or given me the impression of you feeling like that at all.
But yeah, it's such a slippery, like it's like there's a fine line. There's a fine line between like
of course.
caring about what you do and
Getting a little
I know,
proud.
right?
I mean, this son of a bitch kills my characters constantly. He's a piece of shit. But I'll give credit where it's due.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like there's a fine line between caring about what you're doing, being like, okay, like you obviously as a DM, like I am invested in my world. It's all I think about.
Yeah.
And not all I think about, but I do think about my D&D world all the fucking time. And look what I'm doing right now, right? Like I'm fucking shading in these stupid little cracks. I don't know why I'm doing it.
I know why you're doing it. Keep doing it, boy.
Yeah.
It looks good.
But like that, this is what I do. This is my meditation. This is what I enjoy doing on a Tuesday night. But like
it is Tuesday night.
But like there's a certain point where you gotta be like, okay, the players are gonna go into this room. They may not care about this little hole, so don't get upset if they don't. You know? Like
There is a +5 blade greatsword in there.
There is, yes.
They're this is actually a thing that I heard in a review for quite a famous review for one of the Star Wars movies or something. It was by Red Letter Media, and he it was one of the Plinkett reviews for like the prequels. And one of the things he kept saying is you don't notice this, but your brain does. And that is such an important concept when it comes to making anything, is that, you know, people might not notice the little details, like you just fucking painting in and making the underneath of the floorboards a little darker. Like, I would never think of the fact that you did that, but my brain is going to notice that happened, and it does enhance, those little details do enhance the experience of going through, right? And it's little details like that, like, yeah, nobody's going to notice them, but they subconsciously do. Like, it does.
Contrast is no joke.
And it just, like, that's such an important thing in any creative medium, is that, like, yeah, those little details, you're not going to get credit or praised for, you know, being smart and filling in these little details here and here and here, but it does, like, it makes a difference. And, you know, taking that effort, which is something that you do really well, and taking that time to add those little details that give places personality and really enhance them, like adding the little moss and stuff, like, this is fucking great.
This is something that I really enjoy doing. Like, one thing I've learned with map making, and I don't know if it's the proper term for it, but like contrast, like having these like things that just contrast with everything else, like it makes them pop. Perfect. Astral.
Yeah, pop colors as well. Oh yeah, pop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's exactly.
100%.
Yeah, and I kind of just learned that from doing this. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I just I do things until I like.
Yeah, you're right. You don't know.
No, I don't. Like I'm not like, oh, I'm a classically trained map maker. Fucking school. I just picked up this program one day and I made shitty maps, and then I gradually started adding things, and I was like, yeah, and I fucked around with shading.
Hey, you know, being terrible at something is the first step into being sort of good at something.
It's true.
It's true, Jake. And yeah, 100%. And like, yeah, you're not like, nobody. I feel like everybody is always in a constant state when it comes to creative crafts. The worst thing you can possibly do is think, okay, my experience and level in this area is maxed out. I cannot improve anymore.
Yeah, my journey is complete.
My journey is complete. I'm as good as you can be. Like, anybody who does a creative stuff and has that mentality is just going to be awful. Like, it just Rob. Like.
Oh my god! Jesus.
Oh my god.
Rob to a T right there.
Yeah, ultimate vain artist.
I feel so bad for Rob. I feel like we've steered the conversation away from anything he's had anything to do with.
Oh, Logan,
right.
Logan, sorry, I just got your messages now. as far as different versions of this map, I can easily change these assets and like make a less ruined one. For some reason, I just wanted to make a ruined one right now.
No, that's cool. Just asking, because this is gold.
So what I'm gonna do if I still have time, it's only 10:17. I do need another beer and I need to pee.
You can go pee. You can go beer and have a pee.
I'll go beer, and I'll go pee in my beer, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
The last bit?
We didn't do our normal break.
We kind of
not
did.
really.
I mean, it's like
I don't know. In and out. It's a different format.
It's a different format. Do you guys?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna hang out for a bit and keep talking, or?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I will be.
We usually go to 11, so.
Microphone.
Let's do this all the time.
Well, we can.
We should do this like once a month.
I would like to do more of these because I do need to actually work on my maps, and I think this is a really cool way to. I don't know how much chat is actually interested in like my process, because I don't like to toot my own horn, but like I don't know.
It couldn't possibly hurt.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, and if you have questions, or if you are at all interested in world building and map making, then I don't know. Maybe if I can teach you something, then that's cool. Anyway, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
OC, do not steal.
But no, I do kind of feel bad because we talked about we've discussed at length that first campaign that we did, but I feel like it gets referenced enough that
I just had to get it off my chest.
Yeah, and laying that lore out is just, I feel, it's beneficial, right? Because now like those that have seen this, those that have heard the tales of the receptionist, are gonna understand why whenever we walk into a building and one of us quips, "Oh, I shoot the receptionist," is gonna understand the reference, right?
Yeah,
like
you understand the meme now. But it's also a good story as to like learning how dysfunctional one player, or learning how a dysfunctional single player can really tank an entire thing.
Yep.
And in their mind, like it doesn't take much. Like it's like zero effort on them, and it ruins the whole thing.
Yeah, it literally just takes one person not playing along to have the collective fun, and boom, the whole thing can be ruined for everyone else.
Yeah.
And like I would even go so far as to say that the way that he approached things in the right context would not have been the worst thing ever. It's simply the fact that what he was doing was clashing so hard with what everybody else wanted out of the experience. And
he was at a point doing that intentionally.
Yes.
Based on what I'm hearing.
What I miss?
Yeah.
Hey, Rob's here. Good. I haven't heard Rob in so long.
Even if we remove, sorry. I feel like even if we remove the intent from it, let's just say, okay, no intent, doesn't matter. The biggest issue is that there was no context sensitivity to what he was doing. Like, it's fine to be.
Are we talking about receptionists again?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're still there.
Well, just in general, just the
I
Rex
think we're
character.
trying to wrap it up.
Yeah, like
sure.
the Rex character and the way it was played. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being a bloodthirsty character, but you need to be able to context switch. If you are the bloodthirsty character that's killing people with with wanton abandon, fine, that's your character in your prime, but you also need to have the mode of you're RPing the bloodthirsty character when he's being talked down by his allies, and you need an RP mannerism that allows that to be possible, because you can't actually sustain that through a serious campaign for long.
It's what my character would do.
And again, to me, it just simply boils down to I
don't like that.
Like you can make anything work in any scenario. Like, I mean, I play a very edgelord character through Slash, and I play a complete fucking idiot in Carrot, and Maximilian was the world's biggest douchebag. And you know, none of these things in my, at least to me, it doesn't seem like any of these things clash with what's going on, because I make the effort to play along with what everybody else wants and is doing and all of that, and that, you know, so that kind of stuff works, and so through doing that, anything can work. But on the flip side, I do think that, you know, like, it basically boils down to, like, whatever the party at large, whatever the other players and the DM want out of the campaign, as long as that's all on the same page, it's fine. Like, if all 5 of us and Joel wanted to just take the piss out of everything, like, we were all 5 of us were like the fucking loose cannon alcoholic fucking Judge Dredd badass whatever, like, if all of us were playing that and we were all just kind of like drunkenly walking through every map, pissing on everything and blowing away everything that moved, and Joel was perfectly fine with it, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if
we were all having fun.
Well, that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Everybody...
I would never run that campaign though.
Of course,
We should have like a receptionist round one shot sometime where we all just like drink whiskey and fucking play a bunch of murder hobos.
Oh my god.
I would be okay with a bit of murder hoboing, but I'm with Joel on that. Like, after playing that one, it's clear to me that that's not like,
it's an inferior way to play.
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
it's not why I play it. And it's not what I get.
That was lovely.
That was gross.
I apologize for that.
Well, and like, to be clear, like, dude,
an evil campaign would be kind of cool, where you guys are literally like a mini campaign where you guys are literally like trying to be like the biggest bastards you can.
Yeah. Or even if we're just like overzealous, like justice fighters who are actually just a bunch of bigots. And you're like the one roadie that's like basically there against your will, trying to convince us not to, but like kind of failing. Like, you can bake a bunch of RP in there.
Like, one person's like a good character, and they're like, guys,
please, you don't understand, everyone. Like, they have a good heart.
You know what? You know what my favorite part about this is that even when discussing being just straight up murder hobos, and like, we're still approaching it from the RP side of things.
Well, yeah.
I just like, and again, like, it's funny because like that's what we get out of it for the most part. Like, we all like the RP, we all like the story building. And,
well, and guess
like,
what?
Character interactions.
That's why our group has lasted as long as it has.
Yes.
Because we all want the same things, and we all know how to discuss.
Oh, absolutely.
What we want. And I like to think that I take your guys' like. You don't usually criticize my stuff, but I usually try and take it with
I mean, I criticize the shit out of the fact that you have like a hell vendetta against me and keep killing my fucking characters, you son of a bitch.
Hell vendetta.
A hell vendetta.
Yeah, how many times have I killed your characters?
3!
No. Once. I killed Shiggy once.
Joel's... Oh my god.
The stream, the chat killed your character.
So if you want to count the kill my players thing, Shiggy died 3 times.
Yes, that's not me though.
So you've killed my character twice.
Nope, once.
Nope, one.
Well, who was the other character? Yeah. And don't say Squawk, because Squawk is still alive.
God, Squawk is so dead. He's never getting out of that goo.
Oh, don't tell that to Shiggy.
I'm sorry, Shiggy, it's true.
Or not Shiggy,
or whatever, whoever.
Shiggy doesn't give a fuck. Don't let Slash know. He might lose his shit and turn into a murder hobo.
Should we quickly tell the Squawk story? It's not as big as the receptionist story.
Basically, we had it was a one-shot, essentially.
It was the intro to this campaign.
But you could go watch.
Yeah, we have it on YouTube.
It is on YouTube. Yeah.
It's on YouTube. Yeah.
You have fucking
so yeah, basically it was the intro to one of our current campaigns, and at the end of it, one of the characters that Jason was playing, Squawk, a Birdman.
Surprising.
What was he exactly killed by? I don't remember what actually.
So
it was a statue animated.
Yeah.
So what happened was
it's like a clay statue.
I don't remember the exact details. We were tasked with going and getting this artifact, and it was in a temple, and we were in the final room, and shockingly, nobody had died up until this point. And Squawk was a rogue, and I went up behind something, and it was fighting something in front of it, and I stabbed the shit out of it. But I had used all my movement or something. I couldn't move away from it, and so on its turn, it turned around and used an attack on me that drained life, and it crit. So it hit me and it drained all of my health. Like I literally went from having like 15, I think, HP to max HP, not like current HP, max HP to 0. My max 8, not only did he knock me out by just doing damage, he literally drained all of my max HP. So Squawk, and I'm pretty sure the rule of when that happens is if your character doesn't have a max HP, you're dead. If your max HP is 0, you're dead.
Yeah, but I'm the DM and I make my own rules.
And Joel and I was like, you know, playing it up, being upset, like how you fucking killed me? And he's like, no, he's not dead. And he just bent over backwards to explain the fact, oh, he's not dead. He's in this weird kind of stasis, and
it's just been reduced to a fine paste.
I mean, it's basically a joke though, because he's dead.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's the whole like he became a character arc for your next character. It was fucking beautiful.
Hey, Siri,
no.
Is oatmeal alive?
What happens if one is reduced to mashed potatoes? And no, like, yeah, that is very true, and I would not go back and change that, because 100% that set up this. I didn't, obviously this wasn't premeditated, but you know, I ended up using it as the main motivation for Slash, and it being like one of his defining character traits that he feels really guilty about, you know, what happened to his brother, and he's, you know, so hell-bent on trying to find a solution for it. And you know, he wears a shrunken down flask of his brother as a pendant. Like that's like his character.
Literally his brother, the slime of his brother.
Yes. His brother was literally reduced to a fucking paste, and and he's going around trying to find a cure, because we kind of RP'd it as well. Joel really didn't want to admit that he was dead, so it kind of became like he's in this weird limbo.
I didn't want to be the bad guy.
And you know,
guy, Joel. When we
no one knows what it's like to be the DM.
They played that song in the Angry Birds movie.
Behind blue eyes.
Rob, I'm horrified that you have seen the Angry Birds movie.
Which version of that song?
Linkin Park, probably.
What?
But my dream. Is it Linkin Park?
Behind Blue Eyes?
Yeah, behind Blue Eyes. There's, as far as I know, there's two.
Is it Linkin Park who does that?
No.
But it's
no. I mean the cover.
The cover is
bad.
The cover
Limp Bizkit.
Is Limp Bizkit. The cover is Limp Bizkit. I can't remember who. I can't remember who did the original.
Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park. Yeah.
It's by the Who. That's
I know.
The Who original.
No, I know, but I was talking about the cover.
Jason didn't.
I couldn't remember which band it was. I was like, was it the Beatles? No, I knew it was one of the older like rock bands.
Them devil music bands.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing here with this floor, but I kind of like it.
It's looking fucking good.
Sometimes I look closely at the textures. And not knocking Inkarnate, but like I just feel like they could use a little bit more texture. And you know what? It's like what Jason said. People may never notice it.
I mean, you're also zooming into like 7,000%. And you're like, this pixel does not look perfect.
Well, I mean, you guys, when you're playing, will probably be about here.
Wow, yeah, that pixel, that's the wrong value on that pixel.
Like,
you know what? Forget I said anything.
As much as I love to give Joel a hard time, I do think that, you know, darkening the little lines and accentuate them, it really adds to the aged look of the building. Like, that looks fantastic.
I'm not doing much either. It's like at 55% passing, probably even get less, but...
Yeah, a little pop.
Yeah, it highlights those... it just highlights and it emphasizes how just run down the place looks. Like, it looks good. Like,
Are you saying that it's run down?
Yeah.
It adds to the existential element of the fact that we're all gonna become run down.
Yeah.
Okay, I have found a great question.
Who invited Droop?
Oh yeah, I think I found a great question on this on the forum that I want to have an answer to actually.
Tell me.
Supposed by user IY9. How much damage should a horse falling from the sky do?
Height, weight, and type of horse.
1,000 pounds already dead, partly eaten, will be thrown from the sky to the player characters in my next game. Not only will that set the tone, it's going to do some damage if they can't dodge it. The first top comment is, because a horse is a size larger, I'd follow form and scale up the die, so it would be 5d8.
For what height, though?
Let's find out. 1,000 pounds, 66.
What kind of question?
He doesn't actually specify.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, it probably reaches terminal velocity, or maybe like, I don't know, maybe a giant throws it at them or something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if it's at terminal velocity, that's probably like a dodge or die kind of situation. Like that's basically hitting you from orbit.
Yeah, it's an orbital strike, but it's a horse.
Yeah.
Orbital strike. Oh no.
I know. I thought I had that in my head.
Yeah, I was thinking it too.
The filter caught it, but it almost didn't. Yeah, the horse.
No one knows.
But
what
a
it's
rhino.
like.
If someone hits you with a horse,
Do you hear it?
I would probably do like a dex save. How would that even work? If it's already a guaranteed hit, probably like dex save half, and then do somewhere in the range of less than fireball damage.
Yeah.
I would probably house it, so like, because from the sounds of it, the setup is that it's going to be like the opening thing that kicks off the campaign.
Yeah.
You mean Poodle House? You haven't been paying attention to every single thing we've said?
Jeez.
All right, well,
You're gonna do pretty poorly on the exam, bud.
Let's start again. I hope your cat's okay. In all honesty.
Delete your map. Start again.
Yeah, sorry, what you
Delete them.
A horse kicking you in the head can kill you. So, well, what if the horse is falling and then kicks you while it's falling?
What if
Oh my god.
That's too much power.
it's double death? I'm
No,
pretty
man.
sure what would happen is your max HP would be drained to 0 and you'd be reduced to a soulless much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monk horse. Oh yeah, flurry of blows
Oh my
from
god.
the horse. It like strikes you.
Could you
3
be a
times
centaur monk?
Yes.
Why not?
I guess so. I guess you can literally do anything you want in these games.
Yeah.
Centaur is a class that Wizard has prepared. Right, class.
What would
race.
you do if you went into the house and you saw this?
Turn around.
A centaur? Oh, a
Nope.
hand.
Lick the fingers in case he.
All right, Yoshikage Kira, calm down.
Sorry, what?
That's a JoJo reference.
It's probably it's usually JoJo with you fucking.
Jonathan.
mean-
Bakudan Baitsuza Dasto.
I mean, if you want to know why we reference JoJo so much, it's right there. You could watch it.
It's on my wish list, I think.
You
Wishlist? What?
too
Unlike
could
Netflix.
Oh.
you
What do you
too
mean,
could reference. If you watch the English version, I will disown you.
Okay, what is missing in this map right now?
What's up?
Now that he's
Fans.
added the foliage and
What
the
is?
greenery around them roots, how do you feel about them now?
What? I think it looks fine. Like it looks fine. Like I thought it looked fine before.
Yeah, now it looks fine.
I was just saying, like,
Changing his story.
I was just saying, don't go like absolutely crazy with them because it loses that tree like look.
Perfect.
To it.
Whatever. You don't know what you're talking about.
That's true, he doesn't.
Ship it.
Ship it. You know
Do
what I
ever
could
know what I'm
do
talking about?
is I could make like a sort of roof looking thing,
Oh yeah.
but
Make it its own layer.
no, never mind. I immediately regret this.
No.
Can't see anything.
Yeah, no,
it doesn't
make
need it.
Make it its own layer and then make it full.
Make it fully transparent so it's not even there.
Joel,
Yeah, well, no,
I got
zero transparency. So then you just like when the people go in, you like hide the layer.
I mean, yeah, you could. There is roof layer stuff. I don't necessarily think I need that for this. That's something you'd add Foundry side, which would be cool.
But you could include the like roof PNG as like at the same resolution, but it's literally like transparent except for the roof thing.
Well, what I do is I actually I could literally add like bushes like here. What I do in Foundry to make my own assets is I actually make like a green background, like a green screen. I put one of these over and I just gimp out the rest of it. And I just fucking...
How does one get here? Is it a small dock? Well, you ever seen Dragon Ball Z? You know, Kame House? It's nothing like that.
So, thanks, Poodle. Awesome. I'm glad you like it.
Wow, sorry, go back to the old one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Holy fuck, dude.
I genuinely remember going to that map and thinking it was fucking sick and it looks so great, but like the difference contrasting them is fucking incredible. And like I don't mean to shit on like the old work, but even like seeing the old one now before you made like the new old one, I was generally like, did it really look like that? Like I remember it looking a lot better.
So I'm going back to one of your favorite old games from like 20 years ago, and you're like, oh my god.
I mean, this was the whole thing I wanted to do. I wanted to recreate these and like.
Yeah, that's like talk about HD remaster.
Well, to me, it's just amazing how much of a difference being on the map with Fog of War affects your perception.
That's
when
very
you can't
true.
see the whole thing and you're just in a single room, you're like, this has all the detail I need.
Yeah, exactly. It makes such a huge difference. And you know what I might actually do?
Add the book of mushroom recipes.
Well, that is in one of these piles of books.
Mushroom book, yes!
Dude, all of your maps should have a hidden Merrick.
Oh god.
That's such a good idea.
Just
Like a tiny hidden old Merrick.
So what I was gonna do...
You gotta shop out the Merrick on my shoulder. Make him mostly transparent, make him tiny, and put him in one of the holes in the floorboards.
What I was gonna do, as well as that, is I think what I might do for these specific streams is the viewers who were here and watched it for an amount of time. If they're part of the Discord, I might actually just send out this map for free so they can just have it and like use it in whatever game they want to use. Like or they just want to like have it as like a thing or a background. Not that I'm saying it's background worthy, but if it's a little gift to you guys, I can send it out to. Yeah,
I think that's a great idea. I would definitely like put a little signature in the corner or something.
Yeah, watermark that shit.
Well, I'll probably just put like some like FungeonMaster at the top or something. Like, I mean, it's easy enough to gimp it out, but I really don't care. Like, if someone wants to take the map and do all the work and like claim it as their own, then whatever. But I think most people here would probably just take it and be like, yeah, it's FungeonMaster map, and use it. I want people to use it however they want. But
of course. I think that just having a little like indicator that you
for sure.
You did it in the corner, so good idea.
Yeah, and I won't be able to get it out right away because I want to like doll it up first, but I still have some more work to do. We still got 20 minutes, so we're not done yet. But yeah, if you aren't, this is my shameless Discord plug. It's that time of the hour. If you aren't a part of the Discord, jump in the Discord, and I can probably put it in. You dare you not be done? I can probably put it in one of the channels and just like basically say like, yeah, go ahead, take this. I think you could just save the image, and then I can do one with grid and one without grid. So one without grid is really good for Foundry because Foundry's grid doesn't line up very well with Inkarnate's grid, or I always have trouble lining them up, so I just use Foundry's grid. And then one with a grid that if you want to just like print it out and use it for like a tabletop game or just like have it like that, I'll have both options essentially. Yeah. My gift to you.
Joel, here's a great.
But I'm not
talking about more fucking free DM advice here. Maybe pop up the DM advice. This is another really good one.
Let's do it. Also trying to figure out what else I can. This is good DM advice or terrible DM advice?
This is fantastic DM advice. Okay. So this was posted in response to somebody asking how to create a campaign that isn't railroaded. Now that's its own thing altogether, right? But
I could. Oh my god, we don't have enough time for me to say the things I want to say about that.
But you know what? I think what you would say is very easily summed up in 5 words. Don't prep plots, prep situations.
100%. Well, hey, it's Dang. I assume that is Astral.
Yeah, don't prep plots, prep situations, because even like, you know, the player characters pursue the villains. What if they don't? Like, oh, the PCs have to spot a derelict ship. What if they don't?
I actually have that.
What if they have to board the derelict ship? What if they sail past it?
Okay. I actually do have. So I have something to add to that, which kind of contradicts, but is along the same line. Mine, for good DM advice, is plan the story, events, and encounters, not your players' reactions.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're like, I personally like to have a beginning, a middle, and end. Like a beginning, a world-shattering event in the middle, or maybe two, and then like an end game. Usually, on every single campaign I've done, those have changed drastically based on what you guys do. I never get too attached to that. That's another thing altogether. But I do like to have a plan, because then you don't want to run the risk of like your campaign feeling like it's going nowhere. Like your players, it's like reading a story. It's just like, what is happening right now? Well, what's happening in this story? You don't want to have that happening in the campaign where it's just like your players are like we're not making any progress. Like there can be side quests, and I like doing side quests, but I always am wary when I do side quests to make sure that I get you guys kind of quote like back on track. And then yeah, so don't plan your players' reactions. Like don't be like, as soon as you start saying they're going to do this, or they're gonna see this guy and they'll follow him. No, they won't. No, they probably won't.
I can think of quite a few examples of this at practice, but
and they might not mean to. And we did a side campaign where Chris was the DM.
Oh, yeah. Chris's campaign was definitely there's a few examples of this where I think like having an idea of like where you want like the overall story to go and what you want the key like plot or story beats to be, and like because you're right, like having an overall like what is the player's goal or what is happening in this campaign, that is super important.
Yeah.
But again, like allowing the players to like you need to look at writing a D&D campaign story as a collaborative experience. Like you're writing the story and the plot with your players, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Perhaps.
a perfect example of like you can't expect your players to do anything. And one of the things that I kept telling like Joel and whoever else was DMing is that like no matter how perfectly you design your hallway and how clearly labeled the doors are, your players are guaranteed to run down that hallway naked, pants on their head, chewing on the door handles. Like that is just what dicks out. That is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, like you got to be able to go with that. And like
this game's hard.
and like a couple of examples of this are like when Chris was DMing, and I really enjoyed Chris as a DM, and I thought that overall, he did a really good job for somebody who was a novice DM, or at least one who wasn't nearly as experienced as Joel. But there were places where that lack of experience shined through in that, know. Well, I've talked with him about this before at length, but there's stuff like the whole gist of the campaign that he ran was that we learn of this mystery, we're supposed to do an investigation of this mystery, then go to this island and then solve the mystery on the island. And we as players literally skipped the investigation part. He gave us a ton of what he felt were very clear indicators and mystery hooks that we would want to go investigate. And the way it played out is that we were in a bar, some dude rolled in, gave us the mystery hook of, oh, there's some weird thing going on in the ocean, it needs to be investigated. And instead of us doing research to try and figure shit out,
Oh yeah.
this is my show, not yours, Joel. Fuck off.
2 minutes starts when we're done.
Usually, okay. So mine is talks before laughing. Usually, talks before laughing, or no, laughs before talking. Sorry, this is hard. Usually when Jason goes, he'll go for a while.
I don't know what you mean. I don't monologue at all.
Monologue you.
I don't just prattle on. I don't fucking repeat myself ever. Like, you guys are a bunch of fucking crazy people.
Okay, one thing I wanted to say, actually.
Sorry.
While I've got my punishment active. One thing, actually, this is kind of a little bit different, but it is still Dungeon Masters.
Hey, keep laughing.
I've tried my best.
I'm not hearing yucks.
This is a Maxie? Maxie? Oh, this should be a goofy voice one. Maxie, get over here. I'm gonna take off my belt.
Why does it always spiral into darkness so fast?
Because that's how Goofy is.
Y'all know me. Alright, fuck. Okay. So the thing I wanted to say, normally now, get rid of this countdown timer, was another DM advice is sometimes, inevitably, and actually this does tie in, your players are gonna get lost. You're going to lay out the story. You're going to put breadcrumbs on the road. They're going to eat the breadcrumbs, go to the nearby tavern, get invested in like the Goblin Bard. And oh, I wanted to say Astral. Your goblin is awesome there. That's sick drawing. I love how he's wielding a shovel.
I did not see a goblin.
Yeah, take a look. It's in general. That's awesome. And they're gonna forget what they're doing because they're trying to have fun, right? Like, and you know, it's fun for everyone. Like, everyone's having a good time.
Goblin's fucking dope.
Don't be afraid to drop hints, even overt hints. And there are ways to do this. And my personal favorite is the deranged blind old man. And what the deranged blind old man does is the players are walking down the street and an old man walks up to the lead player, grabs him by the shoulders. His eyes roll back of his head and he goes, the cemetery, and then he runs through the crowd and disappears. That's the hint, and there's no doubt in the players' minds that they need to go to the cemetery. You've literally said go to the cemetery without saying go to the cemetery, and you know that old man has a place. Like, that's normal. That's fantasy shit. Like, there's always that guy.
There's always a crazy old man who knows more.
Yeah, he runs up and he's like,
and later you find out he was like a god or something.
The cemetery, and then he could become a thing. But like,
he was
all your dad.
You could stand there and get mad at your players and be like, oh, you guys didn't figure out where to go. It's like, I'm sorry. Or you could send in Old Man Jim.
I get freaked out by that a lot, actually.
What?
By what? Not knowing where to go?
Worrying that I'm not making the decision that the DM wants me to make.
That's not...
I know.
That's not your... that's not something you should have to worry about as the DM. I mean, there's puzzles, right? There's all these things, and I've actually had. I think I've told you guys the first puzzle I made for you in our second Pathfinder campaign. You guys didn't find my solution for it, but we found our own way. You found a solution for it.
Was that like the mirror puzzle?
It was so. Is anyone play? If anyone's played Ocarina of Time in the Spirit Temple, you bounce around beams of light off your shield. It was basically that. You guys were bouncing off beams of light and you had to aim them at an artifact that was in the room, but instead you guys had aimed them all at the door. And instead of me being like, no, that's not the right thing, you guys had already spent, I think, about 20 minutes doing it. and you guys are like, oh my god, aim it at the door, and it seemed very clever, and I was like, this could easily just be the solution. And I was like, okay, yeah, the door opens. Because it makes sense. You guys invested the time, you came up with a cool decision, and it wasn't until months later that I told you that you realized you didn't actually come up with my solution, but the effect was the same, right? Mm-hmm. Or I could have spent another 30 minutes sitting there silently while you guys
whittle away at an angle puzzle. Yeah.
Because I think what happened is, like, when I explained it, like, I kind of felt like it was pretty cryptic, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I explained this well enough. But then you came up with that, and I was like, you know what? That's good enough. And so you guys gave yourselves a pat on the back. You're like, yeah, we figured it out. That was cool.
Yeah, we're good enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
it's basically like engaged with the content sufficiently that everyone felt invested, so that when it pulled off, everyone felt good.
Exactly. Yeah. You put in the time. Like, that's basically it. You put in the time required, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna make you guys wait more time. You haven't, like, given up on the puzzle. You're not freaking out. Like, everyone had a good time.
Mm-hmm. What do we do?
I mean, like,
go in and talk to the dragon.
I don't think we've ever gone to a point where we've been like, Joel, we need help. I don't think we've ever gotten. I mean, like, sometimes I definitely know that Joel will he won't straight up tell us what he's looking for, but he will give us a very overt, like, here's kind of what we're looking for.
An old man will break into the temple, into the puzzle room, and
explain very calmly, which is weird because he's usually yelling.
Old man,
Hello,
who are
buddy.
you?
There's actually a great example or counter example of this. I love Chris dearly, and I don't mean to pick on him.
This is the thing you're trying to get to. We made fun of you.
He's not here, so go ahead.
This is the second thing. There's two things here, and the first thing, to very quickly, hopefully quickly, probably with no expedience at all, finish what I was saying before, is that essentially it boiled down to, like, he set up us trying to solve this mystery before going to the island, and we immediately, and this is like, we streamed doing this and all that, but like we immediately just fucking stole the boat and went out into the ocean without doing any research, trying to figure out anything. And bless the guy's heart, like, he rolled with that and made it work, and it was perfectly fine. But you know, he had planned quite a bit around us doing a ton of investigation stuff, and we skipped like 2 or 3 maps that he had prepared. Like, literally didn't even know that they existed until he told us afterwards that we had skipped them. And we had done so because literally we literally got a whiff of adventure, and just immediately it's like, all right, we got to go to a dock.
Give me a boat.
We literally went to the dock, and like every single roadblock that he put in front of us to say, you're going the wrong way, go and do other things first, we found like the most stupid ways around it possible. Like, he had guards there, and we're like, we're taking that boat, our friends let us have it. It's like, oh yeah, what's the name of the boat? We had no idea, but we had like a bird familiar, went and read what the fucking name was, and then rolled perfectly on the bluff checks and shit, and we just like completely went around his like roadblocks with ease.
Well, here's some DM advice. Beware roadblocks, because they make your player think they're going the right way. Because I thought, oh, check this out.
Yes, 100%.
There's a bunch of hurdles to get to this boat. I'm getting on that fucking boat. You know what I mean? Now I want it.
Yeah, like it's the classic like video game knowledge of, like, if you're running into opposition, you're going the correct way. So you know, we've been it's like, oh hey, a puzzle to solve, when really he's just like, turn around, you fucking idiot, you're going the wrong way.
What was it, the golden octopus or whatever, like the red herring, and
oh my god,
he like tried to take the octopus away, and we're like, no.
That's what I was gonna say next.
Okay,
is like with the like, don't be afraid to give your player like even if like there's always going to be this question, like, is this puzzle too obvious, is it too overt, and like, you never want to give away the solution to stuff, but being there, like, don't be too afraid to make it too obvious at certain points, because again, the same thing a little while later, we had the puzzle where I think we had to put we didn't have to put it there was like a couple of puzzle pieces, and we had gotten one of the puzzle pieces out of a room that he had not anticipated us being able to do. And
No, it
so
wasn't a puzzle piece. It was a red herring that was supposed to be a lure to a trap, but the person who got it happened to be immune to the trap, so we just got him out of there with a golden octopus that he was not supposed to have.
so
because Alf picked it up.
Yeah, my character was like enamored with that octopus
there
and
were
immune to poison gas.
and immune to poison.
There were actually 3 elements to this puzzle. There was the red herring, so there was a steel or like a ball of some kind. There was the octopus statue, and then there was a pedestal and a mirror in a room somewhere. And what we ended up doing is the ball was supposed to interact with the puzzle in the room, and we weren't supposed to, yes, steel ball run. We weren't supposed to be able to get the ball out of that room. But because Elf just happened to be immune to the poison that filled the room, we managed to pry the door open and get both of these pieces out. And we didn't realize that that wasn't intended. So we had the statue, the octopus statue, and that we needed that. That was part of the puzzle. But we also had
wrong.
We also had a fucking ball. And so we literally spent like 2 hours running around this island trying to figure out what the hell we're supposed to do with this statue, which we needed, and this ball that didn't mean fucking anything. And the solution to the puzzle was we needed the statue for something a little later, and we actually just needed to fill up this like bowl kind of thing with water. And then that we looked in the reflection of the water, and that put us into like this weird mirror world and all of that. The problem is that we put the ball in the bowl first and then filled it up a little bit with water, and he didn't give us an indication that we were on the right path when we did that. So we abandoned the idea of putting water in there entirely and started doing a bunch of other weird shit until
We went all over that island.
Yeah.
And then
The trouble as well is like, I even tried to prompt him because I had a feeling, and I was like, when the water hits this dais, does anything happen? Is there maybe an inkling of magic in the air?
When the moon
No.
hits the eye.
Okay, well, fuck it.
Like that, you know, oftentimes, you know, it can be 2 ways or whatever, but that's where he went wrong, is that he didn't give us an indication that putting the water in the bowl was on the right track. And had he done that, we would have solved the puzzle in like 2 minutes. But because we thought that we weren't on the right track, so one of the other NPCs eventually runs up and starts trying to take shit away from us. We got super defensive. It's like, no, this is ours.
Yeah, he literally spawned an NPC to come take like irrelevant stuff from us, and we were like, no, that's ours. This must be important.
and then it became a blood feud where we had to defend our honor and our objects.
Yeah, it was a spiral.
It was so interesting. It's interesting thinking back on it, like how far off we were, and just Chris trying to like.
I can imagine him the entire time with his palms like or his head like fully rested in his palms, like, oh my god, please.
Well, and the poor guy too, because I remember he brought the puzzle first to his wife and his wife's friend. He's like, okay, guys, here's the riddle, here's the text on the stone, here's what's in the room. Can you solve the riddle? Is it too hard? And they got it within, I think it was like 10 minutes or something like that at most.
Yeah, they got it.
And he took that as easy. It's like, no. Go do some improv drama while you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Not the same test.
And again, like it just, I genuinely, everything was, I think the only place that he actually made a mistake there is just not indicating that the water in the bowl that we did was the right path.
Yeah.
Like had he done that, the whole thing would have been completely different. Like it genuinely, like we wouldn't have. And you know, like I had fun being stuck there because the shenanigans we got into as we tried these different things was fucking hilarious.
RP,
yeah, there was a lot of solid RP. It was fun. There's some funny interactions. Like the amount of like just tomfuckery we got up to was great.
The RP-ness was solid.
The RP-ness
solid
was
RP-ness.
Yeah, it was
hard.
big and firm. But yeah, no, like that it just I feel like that's just a really good example of that. Like, don't be too afraid to, just pretty much confirm that your players are going in the right path, especially if they are floundering a bit to get to where you want them to.
It is.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of positive reinforcement.
It is.
Yeah.
100%. You're right. And it's, speaking as a DM, it can be really difficult, and I do still stumble with that sometimes. Like sometimes I'll throw in something as a detail, and you guys will get fixated on it, and I'm like trying my best to be like, no, that's not important, without saying no, that's not. Yeah, and it's tough because, as you guys have probably just seen, I'm a detail-oriented person. So
No nonsense.
Yeah. So sometimes I get stuck on a detail. It's like, how do I tell them that this isn't important without saying this isn't important?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, 100%. And I have nothing but respect for like the way, like I'm not trying to shit on Chris at all. Obviously.
No, of course not.
Like very, very clear. Like he did a fantastic job, and I had a lot.
Oh,
Like
yeah, it was great.
The things that he came up with were just fucking fantastic.
His turtle map was some of the best dungeon draft use I've ever seen.
That map was fucking cool.
And he's like never done it before.
Like that was that was super impressive. That whole thing was just like really fucking cool. I really enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, he did an incredible job. And it was fun. Everything was balanced. Like the encounters felt like reasonably dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, we fought like an aboleth, right? Like like a mind controlling beast. Like it was crazy.
We did it's so funny. We did so many things that he didn't expect. Like we managed to somehow he was going to just have his bad guys kidnap all the NPCs that were helping us on the turtle. And instead we managed to like, I don't remember if we had an elf that stayed awake.
No, it's Alf. So I feel like
Alf doesn't sleep.
Alf,
yeah.
Alf was the monkey wrench in all the plans. I felt so bad because I'm like, my character's immune to poison. He's like, all right, well, let me just throw out this poison trap. My character doesn't sleep. All right, well, let me just throw out this nighttime ambush.
Yeah.
But it turned out so perfectly because instead there was this whole encounter where we were trying to stop the NPCs getting kidnapped, and like some of them were taken, some of them were not, and it was like there was that little like mild challenge and achievement there of like, hey, we saved one. Damn. Turns out he's not actually useful, but like, I don't know, to me it was like a cool little tense moment.
Oh, and then there was the part where
Rob, like, stop the car.
Rob got really angry.
Yeah, I had to yell.
At the shark. That was
Ludwig had to yell about sharks.
That was scary. No, it wasn't Ludwig, it was Rob who was angry.
I don't remember what exactly happened.
We have the clip somewhere.
I think
the clip is titled "Rob loses his shit" or something.
I think it was like trying not to kill sharks, and he was like, "It's a fucking shark. They're murderous, rampaging, killing machines."
It was I remember. It was like, oh, we can't kill the sharks because of nature. But it's like these sharks were wearing armor, and like they even said the Sahuagin used them as spies. Like these sharks were up to the shit. They were doing the bad things. They were villainous sharks.
They were up to no good.
They're up to no good.
They were up to no good. I miss playing Alf, and it's a shame that for some reason, well, it started with Kirill hating Alf, but I feel like the hate has spread. I don't know why.
I liked Alf.
Alf's
I thought he was a great character.
No, maybe
let's adopt him.
Maybe it's just a tremendous amount of hate coming from Kirill.
from one person, yeah, maybe.
Because he put all his hopes on him in the ring. I was like, he's a support.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
then Merrick demolished him.
Well, he's a support character versus fucking old Mardanius.
Really buff old man.
Max Eric.
Oh, fucking old Merrick just used that ab lash and it was all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hating on
What's that?
hating on Merrick's armor. Sorry, I'm reading through your clips trying to find it.
Oh yeah, it's
in there somewhere.
All right.
Freak mode.
Well, we're just past 11 here, and I mean, what I'm gonna do with this map is I'm definitely going to make different versions of it. Like I'll do like nighttime, I'll do not broken, all sorts of different versions of. Hey, one up just in time.
right on cue.
Here, one up. I'll show you I just made this into this. But what I am going to do, like I said I would, is
Orbo wants you to find the differences between these two pictures.
They're the exact same. I'm going to create in the coming days. I'm going to create a Discord channel, or not channel. Channel?
Yeah. Channel. Yeah.
Channel. For some reason, I'm getting confused with the name. I'm gonna create a Discord channel specifically for these maps, and I'll put them there. And then you guys can go ahead and download them, use them however you want. I'll put a grid version and a non-grid version. I might not put every single version I put up, like all the nighttime and whatever, but at least I'll put up like this version. And super thankful for you guys watching, hanging out. It was a good we got 3 hours and 40 minutes. I'm like I barely I thought we were gonna be scrapping for things to talk about, but I like barely crossed off anything here. So it's super nice when you can just feed off what you guys in the chat are doing. It's just like, I find I can.
Yeah, this was fun.
I normally don't talk much like about anything except for like D&D.
Oh,
So this is a great way to talk about more D&D.
I don't normally talk much either. So.
Like if you told anybody who knows me outside of D&D, like, oh yeah, Joel just did a stream where, you know, I guess it wasn't just me talking, but basically talked for almost 4 hours, they'd be like, what? But yeah.
They'd say who?
Who? Whomst? No, this was super enjoyable. We should do this again.
Yeah.
It's a good backup for Tuesdays, but I do want to obviously keep our D&D Tuesday. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice Jason talk for.
That's true. Jason did talk for 2.5 hours straight. That is confirmed.
You guys fucking nonsense.
Jason, I like what Jason has to say most of the time.
Most of the time.
But yeah, no, I definitely want. I think this is really fun. I need to do more of this stuff where I take these maps and update them. Like same thing. I'll probably have the old image done in Dungeon Draft. I have so many Dungeon Draft maps, and I'll turn it into something like that. And I'm honest.
You know what would be cool? Sorry to interrupt. You know what would be cool?
Yeah.
Is if you're doing a stream like this, you could even just have the old one just like kind of in the corner.
I thought
just so
about
everybody
that.
could, because I mean, also if you're switching to it every now and then, I mean, like whatever, but just a thought.
Yeah, it was a good hangout. It's just fun to talk with like-minded people about.
Good chill, bro. Good chill.
It's good. No, seriously, this is a good chill.
Sick chill, bro.
Sick chill. Solly chill, bro. But yeah, look for that.
Anybody that's watching. We have a Discord.
It's a shameless Discord plug. It's that time again. I'll
follow if you haven't already.
If you haven't joined the Discord,
Daddy, I'm looking at you.
If you haven't joined the Discord, I am going to be giving this map away in the Discord in the next coming days. So it's and we got lots of other things going on. So yeah,
Daddy. Sorry, I just love that name.
It's awesome. You guys got.
I hope Business Daddy joins our Discord.
I hope
that'd be legit.
He might be a bot.
Yeah. Well.
Or he's just lurking.
Or he might be lurking.
Lurker,
he's like, why do they keep mentioning me?
I thought their name only came up if they chatted. I guess that's not true though.
You have to keep refreshing in the top right of users in chat.
I don't know how it works, honestly. I just stream. I don't actually know what I'm doing.
That's fine.
I'm pretty sure they pop up in chat as long as it's somebody who's logged in and has the window focused or chat open.
Poodle Hats, gotcha. Who you beating up? What is happening?
Beat up Jason.
Please don't beat me up.
Why is Poodle Hats on the warpath? Who's he killing?
I don't know.
What's happening? I'm scared.
Poodle Hats, are you hungry? Is that what's going on here?
Oh, the giveaway. No, the giveaway. Everyone gets it.
It's everybody gets it.
You already won.
It's our map.
The map will be in the Discord.
Hey, the way I see. Holy shit!
Oh my god!
Look at that.
Oh,
has that happened yet? Is that a first?
No, we've had gift subs.
I was gifted.
Okay.
Hey, you guys have been gifted subs.
then I'm no longer impressed.
You won the giveaway.
Oh my god, he made it true.
Thanks,
The prophecy.
Thanks for the gift sub, Astral. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
The prophecy.
That's pretty funny.
Sweet. So yeah, we're gonna. I think next week we'll be back to our regular. Fucking made it. We'll be back to our
Pog Merrick's in chat.
Oh yeah, let's get some Pog Mercs. We'll be back to our regular. Sorry, I'm like derping hard on talking right now.
There you go.
We'll be back to our regular D&D session, but we'll try and figure out a way we can kind of schedule this, like, I don't know, once every 2 weeks. Like we don't need every single person involved. Like if it's only like, 3 or 4 of us, I think it's better if we have more people, because you guys can kind of like sometimes I get really focused on what I'm doing. Yeah, but
I definitely think having just like some amount of regularity, doing streams that are this format, I 100% agree with that. And like having you as doing the maps as a backdrop. I was gonna comment on this earlier, but you got up and left. I think it works perfectly. I think it gives an interesting visual to not directly related with what we're talking about, but it just gives an interesting background that isn't just like us on webcam or whatever.
Well,
lots of
Logan was the one, like, Logan, you came up with the idea originally. You're like, why don't we do a podcast? I was like, and then all of a sudden,
I mean, honestly, when I saw you guys in chat, like, figuring out, like, what are we gonna do? That was the first thing I thought of was, why don't we just talk?
I mean, it's like, as soon as you said that, it, like, all fell into place in my mind. I'm like, hey, I like drawing maps. I need to draw maps. I've tried to do content creation streams before, but I find it really hard to talk by myself. And then all of a sudden, it all fell into place. Like, yeah, like, it's so much easier when I can feed off you guys in the chat. Like, sometimes I think I started a few topics, but, like, it was mostly you guys in the chat starting the topics, and I was just kind of...
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly nothing... There's certainly no shortage of stuff to talk about.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Yeah. All right, well, we'll...
Except now that we've run out of things to talk about, see ya.
See ya. What's your favorite color?
No. I'm going to set up the next one for us. The next time we do a sit down, just discussion thing like this, we totally have to talk about the first campaign the 6 of us did together, where I was Dr. Birds, Rob was Tyrock, the Dooncan one. We talked about Dooncan a bit, but we didn't talk.
Why is this not working? Oh, there we go.
We didn't talk about the overall campaign or like what any of the rest of us were doing.
Oh, that was a fun campaign.
And yeah, it was really a lot of fun. Like there was
only campaign I've ever been in that's finished.
Same.
Yeah,
same.
100%.
Yep.
That, and when you say finished, like I've had 2 quote unquote end. It's the only one that the story actually came to a conclusion and ended. The other one that finished was a TPK because of...
That did end.
It did end.
Technically, it ended. It ended with frowns and sadness, but it ended.
Oh, chat, how was the music through the whole thing? Was it... I know you mentioned it at the beginning.
Yeah, there was stream music.
Yeah, there's stream music.
I've been listening to a 10-hour lo-fi hip-hop fucking track. This
to study / relax to?
So that's music stream beats by Harris Heller. If you aren't familiar with Harris Heller, huge streamer. I think it's Alpha Gaming is his channel. Like, he does all these videos. Like he's massively successful, and he gives away his music on Spotify for free to use in streaming.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. I was hoping it's just in the background, and it's lo-fi, so it's not like it's nothing that's going to take your attention away what's going on. So excellent. That's good to hear. I'll keep it at this level I've got it now. I can't hear it because I actually figured out how to split my audio sources in OBS, so I don't hear it, because otherwise I get distracted if I'm hearing that and you guys talking. Tech death.
Nice.
Fucking prog tech death.
Yeah, put on Behold the Octopus.
Oh my god.
What?
Sweet. Okay, well, yeah, I think that brings us to the end here. Yeah, look in Discord for the maps coming up. Oh my god.
That's Captain. You're my favorite.
Oh my god. This we could just keep going on forever. We need to stop. We physically need to stop. I have to wake up early. But yeah, thanks you so much guys for watching. This was awesome. I definitely want to do this again. And yeah, keep your eyes open in Discord. Thanks for all the input. Even the lurkers. Thank you for lurking. Good night. Love you.
My favorite unit in StarCraft. Bye, I love you.
Bye.
See ya.